Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Whether you're coming in live from the Lakers Nation YouTube channel, the Front Office Show YouTube channel, from any of our X accounts, from Facebook, welcome to the NBA Draft. We're going to be breaking down every pick as it happens, all the trades, all the rumors, everything right here. Guys, we made it. It's draft night. I'm Trevor Lane, Keith Smith, Sean Davis joining me. How are we doing, everybody?
Let's go. Great, man. Yeah, that's exactly the sentiment. Let's go. For anybody watching here live, we will be spoiling picks. If you need to find out when the commissioner announces it, close out the stream or pause and delay a while and jump back in. We will be spoiling picks as they're tweeted. We go through it because otherwise we get so far behind. So we will be when Woj or Shams or Stein or whoever it is tweets out a pick, we will go live with that news, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So we are beyond excited. Thanks so much to everybody who's joining us here for this. Trevor, I liked your intro. It reminded me of like the old WWF with it's like in the millions watching around the world. I loved it. It was perfect.
It was awesome.
The millions and millions. Welcome, everybody. It is the
playback bit.
That was this year. That was a bit we did on playback. By the way, our playback room is actually going right now. People could be watching the draft there on playback, but we wanted to have the ability to have our fun drops and all that kind of stuff. So we went here this route. But we've got a lot, obviously, to talk about. We've got the draft getting going, and I guess we did just see that Wizards trade with Deni Avdija going to the Portland Trailblazers. Guys, how did we feel about that? We've got a couple of firsts making their way back to Washington.
I like it from the Portland side. They had to get out of the tax. They don't necessarily need to continue to add too many young players. There is such a thing as being too young, so that we want to be cautious with them, I guess, on their side. So Avdija can play too. He's on a really nice contract going forward. He's not going to hinder them. They're out of the tax now, and that's huge for the Trailblazers. You can't be in the tax and be that bad. So I really think that's a good deal for them and good for Washington. They're stacking draft capital there in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk more from Washington's perspective. I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's good value, but I really think they can speed up a little bit this rebuilding process because now you get the second overall pick. The clock, I think, is just now about to start for the Atlanta Hawks at number 1. So let's say like Atlanta takes Risacher, you can really dive into this rebuild now with Alex Sarr at 2. There's reports of Rob Dillingham falling to 14. I think you'll be able to get a really nice guard at 14 to pair with Sarr. And then you could just take BPA at 26. You get 3 top 30 picks plus a future pick from Portland. That's really valuable for me if I'm Washington.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point from the Washington side of things. And I think Washington's not done. I have a hard time imagining that Malcolm Brogdon is going to stay. I would think once again, Malcolm Brogdon. Now, we said Portland was going to move Brogdon, and then he didn't wind up getting reflipped until now. But I would have to imagine that Malcolm Brogdon is somewhere else by the start of next season. Yeah,
you remember several summers ago when Luke Ridnour got traded 17 times. Maybe that'll be Malcolm Brogdon this year. Maybe he'll be moved on. I do want to shout out real quick Spot Track, one of the places I work at. Cap sheets will be updated as real time as possible as trades go through, with everybody getting moved in for the 24-25 season. Obviously, some of these deals will not go official just yet, but we're trying to give everybody updated looks at, hey, what might the cap sheet look like with the new faces and new places, and as well as the draft tracker will be getting updated and players will be getting dropped on those rosters as they're picked and come off the board as well.
Shout out to you guys at Spot Track. You guys do amazing work, obviously.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys
tonight, it's all our guy Scott tonight. It's all him because I'm obviously here hanging out doing this. So he's all over it. But yeah, he's an absolute machine. And the pick is in. Zachary Risacher off the board, number 1.
Number 1 overall. I mean, is this, guys, let me ask you this. Because this draft is known as a draft with a lot of role players, maybe not a lot of top-end talent. Is this going to set expectations too high for Zach Risacher now that he's the number 1 overall pick? There's a certain spotlight that comes with that designation.
Maybe a little bit. He's going to need some time. I think Atlanta is in a spot where they're obviously a team in transition. Let's see what happens with them with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, a bunch of their forwards, Clint Capella. But I think Reece Shea he's going to be good eventually, but it might take a couple years. He's very young. He's still got quite a bit to learn, but I think he's a little more ready to play than some people might think. Sean, what do you think?
I like Reece Shea. He is fourth on my board. I think he's a really good player. I think the shooting is inconsistent, but I do buy the shot with Zachary Reece Shea. Has all the tools, has the length and the mobility. I think as long as he fills out his frame, to become a competent defender. And this just becomes like, I'm curious to see where Atlanta goes with their build. Obviously, there's been talks about them wanting to move off of one of DeJounte or Trae, and a long-term wing pairing of Reece Shea and Jalen Johnson is really intriguing.
Agreed. Yeah. I think that's it right there. You hit the nail on the head. Those are the two guys. Jalen Johnson eligible for a rookie scale extension this summer. I projected 5 years, 125 million, and immediately got told you might be a little too low. So that's just give you a sense on where people are thinking with him that they're thinking he may get more than 25 million AAV. So we'll see if that's how that comes together. But I like what the Hawks have a chance to do here. I just want to see them execute it, lean into no more sitting in the middle, somewhere between the 6th and 10th, 12th seed in the East. Try to really pick a direction, go one way or the other.
I think really fast with Reece Shea, and I just put this on, like putting notes for each pick on my end. Your front core, I mean, I know I said Jalen Johnson and Reece Shea long-term is your wing duo, but you throw in a Yankee and Congo in there. That has potential to really be a really fun defensive group at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Love it.
All right, let's go to this super chat question. Said, for the Lakers 17th pick, who would you pick between DaRon Holmes and Yves Missi? Obviously, we're still at the top of the draft right now. There are some interesting bigs in this draft, though. Personally, I do lean DaRon Holmes. I'm really intrigued by his game, his versatility, the ability to step outside. How are you guys feeling?
I'm with you on that one. I like Missi for sure, but I really, really like DaRon Holmes quite a bit. He's one of my favorite prospects in this draft. He's been one of my guys as we've gone through. We all kind of tab people my guys. So I am fully there with that. With him, I know he's Bryce Simon, who has been doing great work for us on the Basketball Bulletin. He's very high on DaRon Holmes as well. So I think that's a kid at 17 might be a little high, but I wouldn't hate it if that's the player the Lakers came away with.
Sure.
I feel like DaRon Holmes is the fairly consensus draft darling, where everybody I've talked to that does extensive draft work really loves DaRon Holmes. So for me, the answer would be DaRon Holmes. He's 18th on my board, where Yves Missi is 22nd. There's a bit of a tier gap between the two as well. So I like both players, but I think DaRon Holmes is a really intriguing player, and I do like him a ton.
Wes says, love the content you all provide. Thanks for your hard work. Wes, we truly appreciate that. Thank you. We really do appreciate the kind words there. Keith, here's an interesting question. Kevin Brown said, can a team over the cap execute a trade to get under the apron, then execute another trade with a tax team and avoid the hard cap?
I'm a little confused by what's question there. Kevin, just don't do another super chat, but just put it in there. We're rephrase because a little team over the cap execute a trade to get under the apron. I'm guessing he meant over the apron. And then execute another trade to avoid the hard cap. Yeah, you're not married to, once you're hard capped, you're hard capped. You can't kind of go in and out of the hard cap. Once it happens, it holds for the entire year. And now the way the year works, it used to be league year to league year. So July 1st through June 30th. Now the way it works is it is the end of your season is when the apron and hard cap kicks in through the end of your next season. So that's how that works. So if you've already triggered a hard cap, like Oklahoma City triggered the hard cap already in the Caruso acquisition, they're now hard capped all the way through at the first apron. So I don't know if that necessarily answers it. Now you could do other things to get under the hard cap for sure. You could do trades to get under the hard cap and free up additional flexibility to do things. That's absolutely possible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just if you are. So, for example, if you're going to try to, sometimes the order of operations matters. So, if you've got a trade that you know is going to trigger a hard cap, once you do that, you can't do anything that would put you over. Or if doing that trade would put you over the hard cap, the NBA is going to spit it back to you. They're going to say, "Sorry, you can't complete this trade." So that's the key. Is it matters once you trigger that hard cap, you've got to stay below that line permanently. That's it. The hard cap is the hard cap. You're stuck, and that's all. All right. Let's go here. Daniel said with the moves OKC and the Knicks made, they have definitely set the level of urgency for win now mode, and they're both younger teams. Yeah, I mean, both teams have made some moves. Both teams have added on the defensive side of the ball, added with their defensive versatility. And I think, Kate, the NBA is a copycat league. I think they see what worked for the Celtics, and they said that let's do that. And so you have teams going and getting an Alex Caruso. People have compared that to Derek White. You go and get Mikal Bridges to try to deal with some of the wings, and there you go.
And we'll get to it right after this, but we've got Alex Sarr coming off the board second to the Wizards. So far, as expected, at the top of the draft, we had heard Reece Shea for a while. We had heard Washington was going to take whoever didn't go out of Reece Shea and Sarr at number 1. They were going to stick at number 2 and take that player. I love this pick for Washington. I think he can play the 4 or the 5 for them. They don't really have a lot at either one of those positions. Clearly, a team that's in transition is seen by their trade today of Denny Avdia. There's a lot of rumors about Kyle Kuzma. I'd be kind of surprised if he's still on the Wizards roster in a week or so here. So, I think Sarr is a great pickup for them. It pairs well with Bilal Coulibaly, and let's go in Washington. Building out some athletic guys there in Washington.
I love this pick for the Washington Wizards here. Sarr was my number 1 player in the class. I love the versatility, kind of like Keith was alluding to. The shot is inconsistent a little bit, but I think I do buy it legitimately in terms of long-term development and upside there. He has insane, I mean, again, going back to versatility, especially defensively, man, where he moves kind of like a wing, but he's 7'1" and is a really good shot blocker at the rim. And yeah, I think there's some self-creation stuff that can be tapped into there. I'm curious if Houston just sticks and picks a guy like Reed Shepherd, or is this a trade down spot and somebody comes up to get Clingan? That's what I'm looking for here at 3.
Yeah, interesting question. Because we've heard Memphis quite a bit mentioned as a team that could move up to try to get Donovan Clingan.
So what would you guys do if you're Houston?
I would seriously. So let's take the KD stuff off the table, because the Suns did everything they could today, including Matt Ishbia putting out a kind of funny tweet about we're not trading Kevin Durant. So if we take that stuff off the table, I would seriously consider if the deal that is offered is Marcus Smart and the 9th pick for the 3rd pick. I would consider that if I was Houston. I think that would be, you're moving back, but you're still going to get a pretty good player. Maybe even a guy that you could have gotten at 3. Who knows? I don't know if Reed Shepherd will be there. He's the one that most of the mock drafts seem to hone in on for them if they keep the pick. So we'll see where that goes. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if this is in play. We've been hearing, right? This is where the draft starts, is at 3. The Rockets are going to be the team that maybe, shakes things up with a trade and all that. I will say this, if it's a weirder pick, like if it is Clingan, who doesn't necessarily make sense with Alperen Şengün and other guys, that says to me something might be coming with the Rockets. Either Şengün is moving, or we may see them be moving this pick and they're making the selection for another team.
Should Houston really move Şengün? I mean, I know the return it depends, but I'm biased. I'm a big fan of Şengün and his game. Yeah. I can't imagine the Rockets deciding to move on from him when he's had so much success with that team. If it's me, I would move I'd make a Donovan Clingan selection and move Clingan. I'm not moving Şengün.
I'm with you. Yeah, I would keep Şengün too if I was the Rockets, unless you're doing something like you are making a big trade where he's headed to Phoenix in a Kevin Durant trade or something like that. Then I guess I still don't know that I love the idea of Houston going all in like that right now, but at least I could understand the thought process if that's the way they went. But yeah, I would keep Şengün. I'd sign him. I wrote for Spot Track that I think he should get a max extension. I'm that high on him. I think he can be everything you need as an offensive hub, and I think you put the right guys around him, he would be there. And we got Jake just chiming in. The Rockets are letting teams know they'll hear out trade offers with the number 3 pick on the board. So here we are.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see what ends up
happening. Yeah. Sean said about Alex Sarr, if I can. I love the comment you made, Sean, about how he moves and he can provide the rim protection. What he reminds me of is just a smaller, not as long version of Wemby in that way. Like he moves very similar,
just like his fluidity as
yeah, exactly. Yep, yeah, as a big guy who's pretty long that can move. Now Wemby's an alien and his whole own thing by himself, but like Sarr, I think is going to be pretty good. In the way he can move and do that stuff. So yeah, I'm very high on him. I like that pick a lot for Washington. I'm excited to see what they do here the rest of the summer, rest of the night. Tonight even they have 2 more picks.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do at 14. Picks in already. Okay.
Yeah, Reed Sheppard.
Oh, Reed Sheppard at 3. Okay. So there is no trade then. There could still be a future trade, but most likely there's not. What do you think about the fit? Reed Sheppard with Houston. Sean, do you like that pick?
Yeah, I love Reed Sheppard a ton. This was my favorite Reed Sheppard landing spot throughout the entire draft cycle. I'm really intrigued by the long-term outcome of like, hey, look, maybe who knows if Jalen Green's really in the long-term plans, but Amen Thompson and Reed Sheppard as my long-term backcourt. Hell yeah, that excites me a ton if I'm a Rockets fan. He's 6th best player on my board. My pro comp was Mike Conley. I had a really hard time giving Reed a personal pro comp, but I really like Reed Sheppard a ton. I think it got a point right around the a quarter, 3/4 of the way into the draft process where I thought people were starting to overthink Reed Sheppard and say, well, I don't think the jumper is really legit. Like the jumper's legit. He is insane as a jump shooter. I think he has underrated feel as a playmaker. Really smart guy. I love this spot for Houston.
I'm in the same spot as you are. I think he can shoot all the shots. He can catch and shoot. He can shoot on the move. He can shoot off the dribble. I think he's going to be instant offense off the bench probably in his first year because Fred VanVleet will probably hold down that position. We'll see what happens with Jalen Green. But Reed Sheppard's a kid who's going to come in, be part of a rotation, assuming, and we will until we hear different, that he's staying in Houston, obviously. But I think he can really play. My comp for him has been Peyton Pritchard on steroids. Like he's just a better all-around player, right? And that's maybe a little unfair. Short white guard who can shoot, right? That's I mean, I get it. I'm making the stereotypical comp there, but that's kind of what he reminds me of. But he's a really good athlete. He can really kind of get off the floor. He can do some stuff. And Kentucky guards don't always get to show everything they can do as playmakers because that's a very equal opportunity dribble drive system. And people need to realize too, if they look at the stats and they're like Sheppard, and when he comes up a little bit later, Rob Dillingham, like these guys are are their stats a little understated. Part of that is neither one of them started this year for Kentucky
which was nuts.
Yeah, because Cal went with a couple older players in front of them, but they both played a lot. Both are really good players. So if Houston doesn't move him, I love this. I think this is good, and I think your call out of him and Thompson long term, that's a great backcourt because Thompson can take the bigger players.
Yes,
Sheppard, whoever the smaller guy is or the off ball guy, can kind of hide him there a little bit and go forward.
That was the concern if he landed somewhere else. It was going to be that you weren't going to have that guy next to him that could handle the more difficult defensive assignment. So that's where I really like the Rockets fit for him here. It makes sense if they weren't going to move the pick to go with Reed Sheppard. This now begs the question, though, what happens to Donovan Clingan? Do the Spurs consider him at 4?
I was thinking Charlotte.
Charlotte at 6?
I think he begins to slide a little bit to where you're talking 6, 7, which for me would be perfect value. Hey, 7th on my board, so that'll be awesome.
Oh.
I think we are now in trade up mode where we could see teams start to move up. Yeah, teams are going to start calling these teams on the board to say, hey, what's it going to take to move up to get Donovan Clingan? Because we know there's several teams who wanted him a little back. Jake Fisher reporting Rockets intend to keep Reed Sheppard. So, that's all right. So that's good.
There you go.
We're all, we're all comfortable with that, and we'll see how that goes.
I want to add one quick thing about Reed as a player. The one thing I think there's legitimate things to question about. I wonder about his isolation self-creation game. which is why I kind of liked my Conley comp, because I'm like, okay, cool. Conley is awesome out of pick and rolls. But if you said Conley in an ISO where the defense is heavily going to load up on you, you're going to have a good defender guarding you as well. That's where my question comes in for Reed Sheppard. But everything else offensively, I literally don't have any questions about Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know how much they're going to need him to do that, right? I think, especially early on, it's going to be, hey, we'll get you set up. We've got the guys to set up, and I bet they'll even play him and Fred VanVleet together some. You'll be super small, but Fred VanVleet, his entire career, has guarded bigger players because he started alongside Kyle Lowry in Toronto for a while when in a kind of a shorter backcourt, but they're pretty tough. So yeah, let's see what the Spurs do here. There's been a lot of talk about Stephon Castle here with this 4th pick. I'm very curious. They have the 4th and the 8th pick. There was thoughts of maybe they could try to move up. Sounds like they at least had some level of conversation with Atlanta. And that didn't end up going anywhere for reasons, I think. So yeah, let's see. I'm very, very curious to see what that looks like.
Nate said, shout out to you guys. Going to have to put in work the next few weeks. Yes, sir. Yes. It is the busiest time of the year.
Yep.
That's the way it goes, but we love it. We love it. Hypothetical trade, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, 17 for Mitchell Robinson, 25 and 38 deal. I don't think the Knicks would do that. I think I would do that as the Lakers. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't hate it for the Knicks. Would have to really love somebody at 17, I think.
Yeah.
To want to do that, that would have to be the thing there. But the value's fine. Mitchell Robinson, I don't love going that direction because of the injury issues. Like he's
true.
How many games are you gonna get out of him? But
Vanderbilt missed the whole season.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah. I mean, it would also involve Hayes would have to opt in. For that to happen. So that can't just happen now. And if he doesn't want to go to New York, that's where the whole thing falls apart. But as a general framework, I don't hate it. It'd be fine.
Here's a interesting question. Cyclone said, what's the difference between DeRon Holmes and Christian Wood?
Very easy. Very easy. Like I'll take that. The Christian Wood comp is more Kel'el Ware for me. Like if you want to go Christian Wood comp, that's Kel'el Ware. DeRon Holmes, better feel as a playmaker, better defender by a lot, in my opinion. And I think the shooting, maybe Christian Wood actually probably has the edge on him. But I think in terms of the motor, the playmaking, I think he's a way better screen setter as well. So I think there are some very clear differences between DeRon Holmes and Christian Wood, which is why I've never liked that personal comp.
Yeah, I don't love that comp either for that reason. Now, if we went with like Christian Wood of like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Our pick is in Stephon Castle to the Spurs. I like Stephon Castle's game a lot. I worry a little bit about his shooting. Actually, let me rephrase. I worry a lot about his shooting. He is not a good shooter.
Especially really with Wemby.
Defender. Yeah,
you need floor spacing.
You're going to need – this is where anybody who's been talking about Devin Vassell being on the move, I think you got to keep him. Now, if you pair this with a shooter at 8, like if they could get like Dalton Connect at 8, all right, now I'm a lot more interested. I start to really get intrigued about what you're building there. But Castle's going to defend. I think I'm with Bryce on this one. Bryce is not fully sold on him as a point guard either. But the Spurs seem to love these dudes who are just kind of guards, and they'll figure it out with that. So, but let's get a real point guard in there. Let's not waste a quarter of a season again experimenting with someone who's not really an actual ball handler.
Yeah, so, I think they're going to. They're going to get another point guard coming in.
I think so. Yeah.
So the Castle thing, and I've talked about this a lot recently. I think Dan Hurley is an amazing coach, right? And I'm probably giving Laker fans PTSD by bringing up Dan Hurley. I'm doing it for a reason. Like, I think Dan Hurley's system more for dumbing in Castle's stock as a player, because we good?
Oh,
okay.
Go ahead, Sean. I think we lost you momentarily, but go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like you're back.
I think it did Dom and Klingon more favors, right? I think you can maybe see more skepticism with Castle's ability as a ball handler because that's not what he asked him to do. And maybe I'm like giving him the benefit of the doubt by saying that, because I do think there are legitimate concerns. But you go to San Antonio, I still think they need a real point guard in there, like you guys said. But long-term point guard upside, day one, really good. Dare I say, that's tough. I was gonna say all NBA level defender because I do think he could be that good. But I like Stephon Castle. He was started on my board. He's a freaking winner, and I'm gonna get that guy in the building. I do understand the pick concerns, though, for sure.
Yeah, a little nervous about the shooting. That's the biggest thing for me. And is he going to be able to be a point guard? If he is, all right, then I'll feel a lot better about it. But let's see where that all comes together.
So what does Detroit do here at 5 now?
I would really like to see them trade back.
I'm with you. I'm there, especially because I think the guy that fits best for them is Modest Buzelis. He's been mocked there for, it feels like, a month or more now. So I really like that fit for them, but I think they could maybe get him a few picks later. So this could again be a spot where maybe a team moves up. And if you're trusting on Trajan Langdon's word, he said, hey, we're in asset collection mode still. Like we're going to be building this thing up, which I think is good, because that says to me they're not going to rush this thing. I know Pistons fans are probably like, good Lord, are we ever going to win again? But you gotta, I know it's another reset, but you got to give him a little bit of time. And if that's the direction he's going, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna take a little bit of time. If there's a good trade back option, I think Detroit should certainly be interested. They should be in on doing something there if there's an option. But again, right now, if I'm Memphis, I'm calling up Detroit and seeing what I can do about getting up to get Donovan Clingan. Can you get that 5th pick cheaper than you can move up to get the 3, right? So you're making those phone calls right now and doing what you can to try to make that move, because at some point somebody's going to take Clingan. I don't know that it's Detroit, though.
Yeah, I completely agree. And guys, I know I've seen a couple people scroll this. Told you off the jump. We are spoiling the picks.
Yep.
When the picks come in, we're going to talk about them. Otherwise, we're going to get really far behind on stuff here. That's part of the benefit of getting them early, is we can start breaking them down and stay on top of everything. So no skin off our back. If you want to pause and let picks go, watch it come over the TV live, and then jump in and catch our analysis and time it up that way. Go ahead. Go, you're not going to bother us in the slightest bit, but we are going to be spoiling the picks as they come in.
Who's your guys? I'm curious. Who's your current BPA heading into pick 5?
Let me pull up my board here.
I like Clingan. I'm a fan. I think that he would. I think he's now. I don't think he makes sense for Detroit because they've got so many bigs already. But I think Clingan is the guy here.
Yeah, Clingan's my best player. I'm with you. He doesn't make sense, especially if you're committed to Jalen Duren. But yeah, what about you, Sean?
My current BPA is Ron Holland, and then Buzelis, and then Clingan. So that's my BPA.
I saw somebody shout out in the chat that if Holland is still there when the Lakers pick at 17, they have to take him. That's 100%. That's not even close. He's not going to be there though.
No,
I would be shocked.
That was our dream scenario. Is that he would pull a Cam Whitmore and then the Lakers would actually draft him.
Did you see my text, Trev?
I did. Okay. It was sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one means.
I
don't watch wrestling, so I don't know.
If you look up Gunther, and then you look at Donovan Clingan, and you put them side by side, I totally see it. That's his doppelganger.
I like that. That's a good one.
Sean, I'm guessing that's you tweeting from the LN Twitter page. LOL. I think Corey's.
It's Corey. It's Corey.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Corey doing that one. All right, let's get into a few more of your questions. Let's go. Oh, Austin Reeves for Alperen Sengun, yes or no? I mean, yes. You'd have to do that. Yeah.
Yep. That's the old you never trade big for small from the Rockets side, right?
Right.
I know that's a 1980s NBA thing. So yeah. All right, the next time after this next pick, I got to look up this Gunther guy to see.
You got to check it out.
What it looks like. So
for the Lakers, lads, trade up to a lottery pick and get a wing or a big, or use the pick for DeJounte Murray pipe dream, but lose Rui and keep Reeves. So basically he's saying whatever you do with the pick, trade Rui Hachimura to get a different piece and hang on to Austin Reeves. I thought JJ Redick spoke glowingly about Rui Hachimura. Now, he was asked questions specifically by Japanese media about Rui Hachimura. So that was part of why he was talking about Rui. But I was interested that he talked about Rui, how he sees him as an elite offensive rebounder. I don't think anybody has ever called Rui Hachimura elite when it comes to rebounding. So that was noteworthy to me. Yeah.
We haven't even said the word good or okay or like slightly below average.
He does look like this wrestling guy.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, he does kind of look like him.
He looks dead on him.
So yeah, that's kind of funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Back
Bro,
to
what's Detroit doing?
All right. Let's see. So Detroit. Shouldn't this be an NBA front office live? It is.
Oh,
yo!
Oh,
wow!
Our first surprise of the draft.
Yeah, we go
Keeping
now.
the pick.
Yeah.
Ron Holland. There is no slide.
Wow!
No, it slid the other way.
Holy moly!
All right.
Vontae Mack. No matter what, they moved up here for him. I mean, he was being mocked at. I think the highest I saw him was 9.
Yeah, I think 7 was the highest
You saw him 7?
I'd seen him. There's some definite Ron Holland fans out there. There's still a couple people who said they think he's one of the best players in the entire class. So had a very messy year with G League Ignite. That team was a disaster. Everything that could have gone wrong with that team did. But he was at one point considered the number 1 player in this draft class in the pre-cycle before the season started. So people are super enthused. Sean, I know you love him, so go ahead, take it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm still kind of just shocked by it. So I'm glad you touched on the G League situation. I think this actually kind of affected my opinion on Matas Buzelis as well, because my initial thoughts on Buzelis was, man, I'm really underwhelmed. And then you put in the context how messy the G League Ignite was. You can kind of understand it a little bit more. It can provide that context. Look, man, Ron Holland is the prototypical, I think, upside two-way wing that if he pans out, my pro comp is Jaylen Brown, right? Just advantage creator that can attack mismatches in isolation or just attacking a half court. Great finisher at the rim. One of the best athletes in this draft class that also projects to be a really good defender, in my opinion, as well. The decision-making and the jumper, yes, as a question mark. He is 18 freaking years old, so give him some time. And I love the fit to Detroit, where I presume that Detroit's going to say, you know what, like you said, like we are still working on this. Like we are still sending stuff out, trying to get the new vision here. And if Ron Holland is here in Detroit, I mean, which he is, keeping the pick, I think Ron Holland can go through his learning curves and growing pains, if you will, and eventually figure it out. And I think the defense is day one ready at the very least. So I'm a big fan of Ron Holland. He's the second best player on my board. And yeah, shout out to Detroit. It's kind of a shock pick. That was fun.
Yeah. The first surprise of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of went where a lot of the mocks had honed in.
It's Clingan. Hold
Clingan,
up.
That's
Wait.
Clingan.
Wait for it. I gotta find it. Yes, we've got a trade.
So now we got back-to-back trades here where it's like coming in. We've got Portland's trying to trade up to get Donovan Clingan, but looks like Memphis beat him, maybe?
Wait, what?
So Jake Fisher says Charlotte is trading back from 6 to 9 with Memphis.
But
what was the Woj tweet?
Woj said Portland is trying to move up to get Clingan, but it looks like Memphis was able to beat them to it.
That's what it looks like. I mean, it's got to be Clingan. for Memphis. There's no other player that they would be trading up for.
Yeah,
there's no one else that would make sense. So, yeah, let's go. I mean, I guess the draft started at 5.
So the Ron Holland pick then triggered this. Memphis had this offer probably on the table.
Wait. Charlotte is working on a trade back. Okay, well that's fine.
Oh, they're working on it. It's not done.
9. Yeah. Okay. Oh, working on a trade back to 9. All right. So let's see. They're on the clock now. Officially, the Holland pick was made just now. He's just getting introduced on TV. So Charlotte's on the clock. But yeah, let's see.
Okay. All right. So if it's not in, what is worth that 3-spot move from 6 to 9, which is nice for Memphis? What are you giving up?
Could be future picks. They've got all their picks, so you could definitely see that there. Could be a player. Maybe Charlotte. Well, what would Charlotte want? I mean, maybe they want another guard. I mean, could be Marcus Smart potentially. We heard that mentioned in Houston, but that was the Ime Udoka connection. But Charlotte is not exactly stacked in guard talent if LaMelo is still injured. So I don't know. My guess is probably they add in another future first here, would be my guess.
That would make some sense.
Yeah.
Yep. That would definitely make sense. And I love Klingen's fit. If he does wind up in Memphis, I love the fit there. I love the fit. That'd be fantastic. I would rather, just from a basketball standpoint, I would rather Klingen wind up with the Grizzlies than with the Blazers.
I completely agree. Yeah, because in Portland, you got DeAndre Ayton. That's going to get messy. He's not going to see time right away like he should. Yeah, and with Memphis, you just basically plug him in and you tell him, hey, your job now, play defense, rebound, and catch lobs. All the rest of it will come. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. together, I don't know how you score in the paint. Like, that's going to be really tough on those two guys. So
I was going to say, Trevor, how about we put our Lakers caps on for a second and say, no, Charlotte just stick it pick and keep him out of
the West. Keep him out of the West.
Well, keep him away from Memphis.
Let's be real, though. If Memphis doesn't get Donovan Klingen, they're getting a big somewhere. They're getting somebody. They're making a trade. They're not going into the season without getting a big.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest here, right? John Morant will be back. Yeah. Desmond Bane will be back. We've talked about it over and over on Front Office Show. They made lemonade out of lemons with Vince Williams Jr. and Gigi Jackson. Those guys can play. They made the best of what was an absolute mess of a season. And here we go. If they get this trade done. Now, hasn't gotten done yet. So let's see.
And they're on the clock.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit behind on the YouTube TV stream here, but as far as I can tell, Charlotte's got 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 2.5 on the
okay.
I've got it on the TV on ESPN. But yeah, here it is.
Oh,
hey.
Remember this from last year?
Yeah, lastly 2 years.
There we go. Yeah.
Yep.
So if we guess so remember, guys, we should pick 3 different players here to increase our odds.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
If we select the Lakers pick, I'll donate $100. All right. Keith, as the non-Lakers voice here, why don't you go first, then Sean and I'll go.
All right, I got it. Let me see who's still left. Do we have to make the pick right now? Sam, you got to
that's a good question.
When do you pick by?
The longer we can wait, the better our odds, because the more picks get made.
I was gonna say pick 10. Pick 10.
We should make it by pick 10.
Okay. So once the 10th pick comes in, we'll select. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, that gives us enough time.
And let us know. You're the one giving the $100 if somebody nails it. So it's really up to you.
Did we get it? I know Sean got it with Max Christie a couple years ago. You got it with Jalen. That's what it was last year.
Yep.
So that just means it's this year, Trev.
Yep, it's your time, man. Step up. All right, let's see. All right, Charlotte selecting Tajon Salon per Sean.
Wow.
So
no trade?
Maybe not.
Wow.
And now Portland.
So they couldn't get it done?
Maybe they could meet the asking price.
There it is. They're staying at 6. So now Portland is going to take Klingen at 7.
It would seem to be. Yeah, I would guess. I mean, that's what the reports have been, that they were interested. So Tijan Salon to the Grizzlies. Sean, what do you think about him?
I like him a ton. I think I thought he would have been a little bit later in the lottery, like with his ceiling being 8 to San Antonio. Personally, Woj already saying Klingon will make it to the Blazers at 7.
Wow.
So I think with Salon, man, he's super, super intriguing to me, man. He has like some athleticism, the shooting I buy. He's a really intriguing prospect in my opinion. I like the long-term upside with for him to Charlotte.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go. I don't think he's going to be ready anywhere near like what Reece Shea is. Here's the thing with some of these guys too. This came up. I wanted to mention this with Ron Holland. Holland doesn't turn 19 until the beginning of July. Salon doesn't turn 19 till the middle of August. Yeah. These guys are going to be 19-year-olds their entire rookie season. They are gonna be young players. So Salon he's interesting. He only had about a year and a half of full minutes at the highest levels. Did not shoot well at all. Needs a lot of work with his jump shot, but a really good athlete. Rebounds, he can do some stuff. He's got pretty good size for a forward. Looks like he maybe could pick up and defend some of the smaller guards too. So let's see.
Yeah. I think with the shooting really quickly, I'm more so to talk about the potential because obviously like he didn't shoot the ball as well as he would like to see him to, and he's gonna be a weird player defensively. I'm like curious to see how he's gonna be utilized defensively. But Charlotte
if he plays defense, that's a step up for Charlotte.
Yeah,
there you go.
Fair enough.
As for Portland here, this question from Miguel says, why Klingon if you already have Ayton? Portland is just in talent acquisition mode. They got to take best player available. Even if it does make a log jam somewhere, there's other moves they can make. They need the best players, period. They can worry about fit later.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, they're gonna move probably some other guys that we already saw. We talked about it. The jump. Malcolm Brogdon is being traded away, so it wouldn't surprise me if like Robert Williams III is moved in a trade here. Wouldn't surprise me if a team is like, hey, we think Ayton is a good fit for what we need, and they can get him. Then maybe Ayton goes there. So yeah, if they go Klingon, I don't love the fit for him. Just because I'd like to see him go somewhere where he can play right away and really start and probably get minutes right out of the jump. But yeah, I mean, it's a good pick for Portland more so.
I will say this really fast to go back to Charlotte for one quick sec.
Sure.
I like this in terms of how it could potentially complement Brandon Miller. Like I'm intrigued by that a little bit. With Brandon Miller, you have LaMelo still. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Getting a defender in there is big for them. So that's important.
Who's more locked in, Trevor or Studio Stu? This question came in. Studio Stu, he's chilling right here, right now. He has been determined to be part of the show. Like he's jumped up. I've put him down on the ground so many times. So he is very, very locked in. I don't know if I can meet that quite that low. I would have stopped trying to climb back up onto the desk at this point.
You would have quit, right? Yeah.
I would have quit. He has not been deterred. He has not been deterred. That's for sure.
Where's Saloon on your board, Keith? He's 13th on mine.
I had him.
What?
I like this.
I had him 16th.
Okay, so similar spots.
Yeah, probably same tier, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Kate, do you think Sean Marks told Houston he wants all his picks back and David Putney because he feels like it?
Yeah, 100% he did. No, 100%. That had to be how that went down. Yeah.
That's absolutely.
He told him to enjoy his pancakes.
I have a little prediction here for how things actually went with Memphis and Charlotte. That Charlotte threw a hefty, like, take it or leave it style. This is what we need, X, Y, and Z in order to make this trade or no deal with the clock ticking. And Memphis called their bluff and said no. That's my guess as to how that went down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Portland taking Dominic Klingon.
All right. So there it is.
There we go.
I mean, yeah, it's fine for them. Great pick for the Trailblazers. I don't necessarily love it for him, but let's see. Blazers obviously not done. A lot of stuff coming still with Portland. I think it's going to take it's going to take a little while for everything to settle there. But I like Clingan with the young guards with Henderson and Sharp. And if Simon sticks around, you need a big who can clean up things for them and protect at the rim. So yeah, I think that's really solid.
Can hide some of the defensive concerns with the guards that they have in Portland too. Like you said, it's not the ideal spot if you're Dominic Clingan, but he's a really good player, and I think he has nice feel as a playmaker due to like playing at UConn, obviously. And I'm curious to see like some of the 2-man game stuff they can go with the Clingan and Scoot, Clingan and Anthony Simons if he sticks around long term. John,
do you think he's going to shoot it eventually?
I don't buy the shot personally.
Okay. See, I do. I think he'll eventually shoot. I don't know that
if he does, then this is top 3 value in the draft.
100%. That's why I had him second on my board behind Sarr. I really like everything Alex Sarr can bring. But I think he will eventually shoot it. He has pretty nice touch. I think there's a chance we see him shoot it.
If he eventually pops out on the perimeter, is able to knock down shots, at least be then this is a top 3 player, and it justifies you having him like 2, in my opinion, on your board. I mean, for me, he was dead on 7. So this is value wise, perfect value for Portland.
Yep, I think this is a good spot for him.
Yeah,
all around.
Andrew, can you recap picks so far? I just put a ticker on the bottom of the screen with the picks. I'm limited in terms of characters, so at some point, the number 1, 2, 3, those are going to have to come off, and I'll have to add on some other ones. But
this guy,
we're adjusting on the fly, right?
We got drops. I'm hoping maybe we'll get a Kevin Durant report at some point. We could fire.
If we could fire the Kevin Cannon,
so yeah,
that would be fun. That would be fun. So when we're looking at this, we've gotten to hit the trade drop once, and unfortunately, it wasn't even a trade. We had to take it back.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, NBA, more trades, please.
Yeah, we preemptively went too early there. Premature trade elation.
Wow, that is
we've gone off the rails.
That is
we're not
nuts.
We're not even a third of the way through the night yet.
I am clipping this out. Whenever we get like a fake trade rumor next year at the deadline, I'm clipping this out and tagging.
Oh no!
Perfect. I love it.
What are the Spurs doing here?
I got a shout out. My guy Scott is watching live over at Spot Track, and he just said, "No trades, please. That's more work for him." Sorry, Scott. We want you to work. We want the chaos. Bring it.
We want to have some fun here.
You said where does San Antonio do here?
Yeah, what do they do here at 8?
So if you have legitimate question marks about Castle's ability as a guard, as a point guard, I would be interested in does the San Antonio go that route? I think you at least have that discussion here. I think ultimately San Antonio probably takes the wing of their choosing, whether it's Buzelis, whether it's Dawn Connect. I think that's ultimately where San Antonio does go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go Connect here because that gives you, now you've added the shooter in between Castle and Wembanyama long term. I think that would be the pick for me.
I see you, Louise, doing your draft grades in the chat as well. Louise has that pick 7 as an A+. I have it as an A. I can't give anything an A+ if I see it as direct value for me, at least.
I mean, this was best case scenario for the Blazers, though, that Clingan would slide all the way to 7, and it happened. Like, that was the best possible outcome for them. I believe that was at least somewhat realistic. Obviously, Sarr wasn't going to slide to 7 or anything, and it happened for them. So, I mean, Blazers fans have got to be ecstatic.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be pumped if I was a Blazer fan.
Yeah.
I need the Grizzlies to take Zach Edey. I can't explain why, but I need them to take Zach Edey.
Do you think they're going to? I mean, they need a center, but I do wonder, there's centers out there on the market. They could potentially trade back. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do at 9.
I wouldn't mind seeing them trade back. Like if they wanted to trade back into a range where they feel like they could still get Zach Edey. Now, obviously, that takes somebody to trade up, right? Somebody has to trade up to the Grizzly spot. But yeah, I think if you're Memphis, I would consider seeing what you can do. If Dalton Connect doesn't go, I'd probably just take him and just bring in one more wing that can really shoot it, because that is still a little bit of a hole for Williams and Jackson, who now look like they're going to be their wings. But yeah, we'll see. Hey, I got to reply to this real quick.
What?
Whoops, not wrong one.
Edey isn't the end all be all.
No, they're moving too quick. You guys are all.
Oh,
get
that
this
one.
Celtic fan off the Lakers stream. You're on the front office stream, my friend, too. So welcome.
We're all over the place. We're everywhere. This is simulcast.
Here. Yeah, this is a family here. We're all part of the same family. So deal with it. You can't see it, but I should have made it better. Somebody asked why I wasn't wearing Celtic stuff. I wanted to represent Spot Track tonight with the audience.
Spot Track's been doing a great job.
On the chair, I do have a Celtics championship T-shirt over there.
There you go. It's to the point now where, like, I listen to a lot of fantasy football podcasts and things like that too. Just when I want to, if I need a break from basketball, that's what I turn to. I'm now hearing like football shows more commonly now referencing Spot Track as well, which is really cool. When I hear that, I'm like, I know them.
Yeah, man, it's the incredible resource for every sport.
Yeah.
So if people are football fans, baseball fans, worldwide soccer fans, hockey fans, anything, it's all. If you probably know it for the NBA stuff if you're watching this, but there is just a ton of stuff in there with that. Yeah, we've got a ton of stuff out there for everything. It's the best salary information around.
Jarrell said this is one of the drafts where a star will be drafted in the middle or late round of the draft. Watch.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Right.
That's what happened in the 2013 draft. Everybody keeps comparing this draft to 2013. Giannis went in the middle of the draft. Rudy Gobert went at the end of that first round, and those guys obviously panned out to be incredible players. So yeah, I think we're there.
Scotland said more enjoyable commentary than ESPN. Well, thank you. We very much appreciate that. Devin Carter would indeed be great for the Lakers. I doubt he's still there. They'd probably have to make a move to get him, but yes, he would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be I think I said this the other day that one would bum me out because I would not. I would be happy for you guys, obviously, but I
that was McCain
kid to go somewhere. That was Jared McCain too. Yeah, either one of those guys, McCain or Carter. Like I would like to see them go elsewhere, but I'd be very happy for both of you if that's.
God, if Carter's still on the board when the Lakers pick at 17, that would be like forget the 5-minute countdown, like 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Like get the pick in, turn it in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we'll run up there for sure.
Yeah.
I think that newsbreaker feed is still refreshing. I think it's just quiet right now. I don't think anybody got this.
I'm watching the feed and it says the pick is in, but I don't know if anybody is in. Is anybody?
Rob Dillingham could be on the move to Minnesota per Shams. So that literally just came in.
Wow.
How is Minnesota getting up to the 8th pick?
What?
That's crazy. They don't have extra picks to trade either.
So what are they trading?
It's got to be one of the big guys. I mean, I'm not saying like big guys like Towns or Gobert, but like one of their bigger name players.
Nas?
I don't know, man.
Right? That's the problem. Like I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't. What are they doing? I mean, I love this for the Wolves to get Dillingham pending what they gave up to come up to get him, but they don't have extra picks because they still owe all those picks to Utah from the Gobert trade.
Dog.
So Naz Reid.
Somebody said Luka Garza.
I mean, Nickeil Alexander Walker, but that's not enough.
Yeah, that wouldn't be enough. Not for San Antonio. San Antonio.
See, everybody that I look at, like I wouldn't do. Obviously, you're not doing Gobert.
Yeah.
You're not doing Gobert, Towns, Conley.
You drafted your guard of the future in Dillingham. You want to hand him the reins right away, and what Conley now becomes the vet guy for the Spurs. It's not going to be Kyle Anderson. He's a free agent.
Yeah. Otherwise, maybe he would have been.
Sense.
It's not Jaden McDaniels.
I'd be shocked if it was McDaniels.
That's the only name that makes sense, though. Like, none of these other names make any sense.
I guess I could get there with Conley.
So would you give up if you're the Spurs, you'd give up the 8th pick for Conley? He's 53 years old.
Yeah, probably not. It'd have to be Conley and something. But
I mean, I'm sure like 27 is going to be included in this, obviously.
All right, so
have to.
Woj says Minnesota has traded for the pick.
Holy shit.
All right, then. There it is. Minnesota's traded for the pick. We just don't know how.
No more premature trade-elation, please.
Yeah. We just don't know how Minnesota got him.
Yeah, how did they get this pick? Come on.
If it's Jaden I would rather have Jaden McDaniels than Rob Dillingham. I mean, that's not 100%. A hot take.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather have Nas.
I'd be really bummed if I'm San Antonio and I just only got like Conley back. I don't like that for San Antonio.
Check something. I mean, they could have got the pick this year. And that would be obviously that would have to execute after the draft, after the pick's been made.
Sure.
Yeah, they have no tradable picks because they owe a 2025 to Utah. They owe a swap in 2026. They owe a 2027 to Utah. 2028 they have. 2029 is top 5 protected to Utah. 2030 is their own pick. So maybe it's this year's pick. I would have to say 100%. This year's pick, maybe swap rights in one of those other years. Maybe that was it. What? Maybe there's not a player going. I don't know.
Dog.
I'm on pins and needles here.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm baffled just because normally you'd be like, okay, they probably kicked them an extra first somewhere, but it's
right.
They can't. So that's like the thing that's really
they don't have assets. It's like
I
think it's oh my god, this Memphis pick got in really fast. Like a minute in.
Zach Edey.
Hey!
Whoa! Zach Edey off the board to the Grizzlies. All right, they got the other big.
All right.
Meanwhile, we're still trying to pick up the pieces from how in the hell the Timberwolves are getting the 8th pick, but we're moving on. Yeah, they really must have ran right up there and made that pick. That pick like was barely on the clock. I don't know. Maybe we missed it because we were so baffled and confused by what's going on with the other pick. But
wow.
All right.
Yeah, we still don't have the details on how. I'm not seeing it anywhere.
No, but no one has come back to it yet. That tells me it might just be picks because they might be hammering out that it's just picks involved.
Oh, here it is. 2031 unprotected first and a protected 2030 pick swap.
All right, Spurs kicking the can down the line, free up a little more cap space because now they won't have the pick hold there. But all right,
no player. That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess if you're Spurs, and a future first.
At it as where we kick the can down the line, but with a team that might be, who knows what they'll be right by the time we get there. I'm with this. Now, I love this for Minnesota. What a great pick.
Yeah.
What a great pick.
Dilly gets to learn under Conley.
Yeah, huge. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Love that pick for them. I think that is outstanding.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you're trying to win, and now you have your guy. He give him a couple years of figuring it out, and then you have your long-term running mate.
Your Mike Conley replacement.
For Anthony Edwards in your backcourt. Let's go.
Yep.
I think this is a great pick. One of my favorite picks of the draft so far.
That makes a lot of sense for the Wolves to do this. Again, unprotected is, that's always a little bit dangerous, but Anthony Edwards is young, I mean, I know that's a long ways away, and who knows, nobody knows what things are going to look like then in 2031, but still, this is, I think, a nice move for the Wolves. I'm a little surprised the Spurs did it without getting anything back for this year, but they've got a lot of future draft capital. You're in a position where now, few years from now, this could be a major asset for them, particularly as you're a little bit deeper into Wemby's career. Are you at a point where now you're contending for championships down the road and you need that extra bit to really get over the top? This could be an asset that gets them that. So I get it from that perspective.
Let's do this real quick too. For the Wolves, took on $6.3 million more onto that
Good
already
point.
very expensive team. Shout out to, I don't know, whoever owns the team right now, but they're committed, man. Talk about being in for a penny or in for a pound. That is Minnesota 100%. So just so we don't lose track, we'll get back to the Edey stuff here in a moment, but the 10th pick is coming up. So after this next pick is made, we'll make our Lakers predictions.
Well, obviously we can't say Zach Edey because he went to 9 to Memphis, and it makes sense. Memphis needs a center. Ultimately, Memphis, whatever it was that Charlotte wanted at 6 to move up, Memphis said the difference between Zach Edey and Clingan is not what you're asking for. We're going to stay at 9 and just take Edey, knowing that Clingan would be gone. And with Edey, I mean, a mountain of a man. There's questions about what he can do defensively, particularly if he's pulled out onto the perimeter. But Memphis gets their Steven Adams replacement here.
Yeah, big time. They made it work with Adams. They can make it work with Edey for sure. They made it work with Valanciunas too for years there. You make it work with Zach Edey. You're going to be fine with him there. I think ultimately Jaren Jackson Jr. is so good defensively all over the place. He can clean up with a lot of stuff. So I think for him, this is a really great fit for Zach Edey. They get a little bit more scoring on the interior. I think he's going to be pretty good. People are saying, I'm seeing it on both on social media and in the chat here. Like, what's he going to do out on the perimeter? He's just not going to be out there. They're going to play him in straight drop coverage, and they'll make it work.
Which is what Taylor Jenkins wants. Taylor Jenkins is a drop coverage guy.
Yep, and they've got the athletes at the other 4 positions, pretty much no matter who they put on the floor to cover for them. So they should be pretty well set. I mean, they're gonna be good, man. He can play. So let's see. All right, pick is in for 10.
So I gave Minnesota A+. I love that selection for Minnesota.
Love it. Yep.
I gave Memphis
there it is.
A B-. Cody
Williams.
Off the board to Utah.
And we've got the Kings engaged at a trade for number 13. Kyle Kuzma and Cam Johnson are the names they're engaged on. I think that I'm not seeing
that one. I didn't see that yet.
Thought it was Stein, maybe. I don't know. Something that popped up on one of my feeds. Anyway, we knew that though. We knew that the Kings were going to look to try to add a wing.
Yep, that's I like Cody Williams for the Jazz. Just keep building. I think Cody Williams got underrated as this process went along. Weird end to the year. I like Cody Williams as a player. I don't like him as much as his brother, but I think he's a pretty good athlete. I think he's a tough kid. I think he's going to develop his shot. I think he's going to be a really good player here. I think people got over-focused on the way his season ended, finished with a broken nose and then a badly sprained ankle, so it made everything a mess for him. But I think he can really play.
Yeah, I'm so glad you touched on that because I feel like if you look at Cody Williams' tape before specifically the ankle injury, where that clearly took a lot out of his athleticism and just his burst, he was, in my opinion, like a fringe top 5 guy, just in terms of talent.
Agreed.
Really good defender, really good athlete, uses his frame nicely to finish well at the rim. The volume on the 3-pointers is really low, and that's like the immediate thing that I think pops. But I like this a ton for Utah. A year after they take Taylor Hendricks, one of my guys on last year's cycle, they take Cody Williams here with the 10th pick, and I like this pick a ton.
Yeah, it's a nice selection.
I'm not worried too much, too, about some of the stats there. There were a lot of mouths to feed on that Colorado team. KJ Simpson had the ball. Tristan Da Silva had the ball a lot. So, yeah, the volume stuff, I'm not going to get too worried about. Did we get anything more on that Kings thing? Did it come back around?
No, I didn't see anything more on it. But what we know, the Kings are going to try to move 13. They're looking at Kyle Kuzma, Cam Johnson. They're looking for another wing that they can bring in. We'll see if they get that done. We need to make our picks. That was the 10th pick.
Yeah. Yes, let's do it.
Okay. I guess I'll kick it off. I'm going to go with Kel'el Ware. I think he makes some sense. I don't know that he'll still be on the board, but for a Lakers team that needs a big, he's got the ability to step outside and shoot. He can protect the rim. I like Kel'el Ware. I'm going with him for my prediction to the Lakers.
I'm going to go with Yves Missi if you're going to take Kel'el Ware.
Okay. I had a feeling you would. That was why I took Ware with some confidence.
There we go.
I want to look at something here before I make my pick because I want to make sure I'm not gonna pick a guy who goes like next. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Jared McCain. I'm going to go Jared McCain. I was going to go Bronny James, but
oh man,
no, that tomorrow at 50.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah,
you can lock that one in tonight.
I did a radio hit this morning, and
Yeah.
one of the questions that was asked was there had been something they I don't know where they got this stat from, but it had been something like over like 15 million total dollars had been bet on Bronny James to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
No.
Yeah. Like
The odds were crazy against it happening, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God,
all those people could have pulled together. We could have been sitting in a studio,
right?
Like together and like, hanging out. Like, well, what are we doing? So,
yeah, just give us that. If you were going to throw away 15 million, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll build the Lakers Nation / front office studios. Oh, there goes Marcus.
Yeah, Chicago.
That's a great pick.
Let's
for
go.
The Bulls.
Yep.
Yeah, Chicago kid too. Yeah, he's the Woj just tweeted that too. Yeah,
they're focusing on him.
So, yeah, all right, that's a great pick for the Bulls. I mean,
that's awesome.
We've been ripping on him for a while here, but I like this pick for Chicago a lot. I thought he was a lock to go to Detroit. Detroit with the surprise of the draft so far with Ron Holland. But yeah, I love this pick. Buzelis, we talked about it with Holland. Messy situation with G League Ignite, but Buzelis he's a jump shot away from my comp for him. Sean, I'm curious to see what you think. I think he's got some Franz Wagner in his game.
That's my exact comp.
Yeah, he's tough. He's kind of mean. He's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. Not afraid to push guys around, knock heads a little bit. That's the guy I'm at with him. So yeah.
So this is my second favorite pick in the entire draft, outside of Ron Holland. Just in terms of value, in terms of the fit, in terms of the team selecting, this is my second favorite pick. He wound up getting my 5th spot on my board for overall in this cycle. And Chicago gets some legitimate wing upside in Mavs Buzelis, who, like you said, is a jumper away from being a pretty consistent all-star caliber player, where I think he has all the tools. He has like a unique build where I think he can guard on the perimeter. I think we saw some of that stuff with the G League Ignite, while also be a legitimate weak side rim protector and rebounder and things like that. He's really, really fun. The one thing the G League Ignite did well for him, which I think would translate day one, is they utilized him in a bunch of different actions offensively, where they would post him up. They would let him go P&R as the primary ball handler. They would run him off screens, use him as a cutter. Like, I really, really like this pick. I would assume OKC's going big here at 12.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Who knows?
Who knows? Like, they could just go BPA, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe they traded to get more picks.
Oh, man.
Hey, let me get my meme ready then, if that's how it goes. That'd be fun. I wouldn't rule it out. Like, at this point, who knows?
Right.
Like, I also wouldn't be shocked if they just went with like Devin Carter here. Like Sam Presti clearly loves like bulldog guards.
Even though they took Wallace last year.
Guys. Yeah, why not? Keep picking them. Eventually, one of them will really, really pop and you'll be good. But yeah, I don't know. I think probably a big man is probably the direction, but we'll see. Yeah, this Buzelis, I like this too. He gets to play at home, which I think will be helpful with him. He's a little older than a couple of the other guys we talked about, like Holland and Salon. He is he's 19, but he'll be 20 at the right around the start of the season. So a year older, but he's a ton of room to develop. I think he's going to be pretty good.
There's some guys starting to fall. Like
Connect,
Topic.
Let me pause real quick there and jump in. Topic, a lot of teams are concerned about. He probably is a rookie. You're going to sign him and have to give him the red shirt year. So a lot of teams had some concerns about that.
Connect is, if you factor in the injury stuff, Connect. Oh no, Isaiah Collier would be my BPA, and then it'll be Connect. Those two are top 2 players on the board, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, it's Connect and Topic. Then Devin Carter.
Topic would be 3
next. McCain, in that range. So yeah. But we're not too far off that. But yeah, Connect and Topic are the guys who because Topic looked like now we're getting into the late lottery. He looked like he'd be a mid lottery guy, and Topic from up until the knee injury
He was top
news
5.
came out,
he was top 3 on my board. He was like 3rd.
Yeah, a lot of people had him very high, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see how far he falls. Right now, all eyes on OKC to see what they do at 12. You know they're not worried about making a trade, but we'll see. OKC's got needs. They need a guy in the middle. They could use a big, so we'll see if they decide to take that here in the draft. Or could they be a landing spot for Isaiah Hartenstein, who I don't know how the Knicks are going to hang on to him at this point. And Keith, by now, I know free agency officially starts on the 30th. A lot of teams and players probably have a pretty good sense of what money is going to be out there for them, which players are going to be available. It's not all set in stone or anything like that, but when they're making these picks, it's not like it's totally uninformed of how free agency is going to play out.
Yeah, absolutely. If the Thunder have an idea of, hey, we're going to get a big, maybe they don't go with a big. If they think they're going to get one in free agency or trade for a big or something like that. So,
right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. These guys are in a spot where they have a fairly good idea with this. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where this goes. With the Thunder pick here. Hey, while we're kind of hearing a little bit of a momentary pause for a moment, Nick Claxton to back to the Nets, $100 million over 4 years.
Million.
Speaking of a big that maybe the Thunder had been connected to. So yeah, I think that's a perfectly fair deal for the Nets. Like I think he really, really good contract for him.
Centers coming back in vogue in the NBA as long as you're able to do certain things. And Claxton, I think is a good one. Maybe a little bit more than I thought he was going to get, but not egregious or anything like that. So that's a good deal.
Yeah.
And good for the Nets to just get that done, and then you don't have to worry about him free agency and all of that.
Trevor, we have super chats stacking up. I'm seeing.
Yeah, let me see. Did you guys do the Lakers' best 3 available picks? Well, we made our selections for who we thought. I went Kelly Ware. Sean went with Yves Missi, and Jared McCain was Keith's selection. So that's what we went to for that.
We have a streak up, old fellas. So we got to get it right.
That's right. We got to get it. Matt said, is Ayton on the move now? If so, who takes him? I mean, there's a few teams that need a big right now that are looking for a big. New Orleans is one of the teams looking for a big right now. OKC looking for a big, but I don't necessarily know that Portland trades him, nor do I know that there are teams out there clamoring to get Ayton right now versus some of the other options that could be, I mean, maybe perhaps even just in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem, right? He makes $30+ million each of the next 34 million this year, 35.5 next year. That's to me the bigger problem than anything else. I don't know who's jumping all over trading for that contract. I think more likely Robert Williams III is on the move. $12.4 million this year, 13.3 next year. Very easily movable contract. Just about anybody could bring him in. That's one of those deals at $12.4 million under the new rules. He could fit into somebody's non-taxpayer MLE that you can use like a trade exception.
That's right.
So that could be something that we see there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it'll be Ayton.
All right, let's see here. We've got Karl Marx wants to know, Keith, Kendrick or Drake? I know you're locked into this battle. I'm with you. Sean knows
what does that mean.
I made a Kendrick and Drake reference on a show when like they were still going at it, and Trevor's face is outside like rap beef.
Yeah. I know who they are. Like, and I thought I had seen something about the two of them weren't getting like. Is that the thing? Like every like athlete was at. Like
Kendrick had a concert.
White guy. Like I don't know what the hell.
Oh, there it is. Nikola Topic.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
He's going 12.
Because they can afford to give him the red shirt year.
Josh Giddey replacement.
Maybe.
Yep.
Could be. Yep.
Where does Topic go? Now we know. OKC. Board's looking real good for the Lakers. Not JHS pick again, please. Well, I don't think they can pick JHS again. I don't think he's available in this draft.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed. Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe they've got some kind of plan where we're not familiar with, but I don't think so. I'm not. I said this the other day, Trevor, on our show. I'm not out on JHS.
I'm not either. Yeah. A lot of people think there's people are just throwing him into trades as though he's just whatever, just to throw him into whatever deal you can and get rid of him. And he's got an injury he's dealing with. I don't know if he's even going to play Summer League, but to me, a lot of his issues look mental more than anything else when he was out there. Like just maybe the lights were a little bit bright for him. That's something where if he works through it, there's a reason why there were a number of teams that had him in that range in their draft. And it wasn't it's not like the Lakers took him when he was mocked to go 45 everywhere else or something like that. So I think there's still potential there with him. It was a disastrous rookie season. There's no question. He couldn't even hold down a role as a third string point guard for the Lakers this last season. But still
wasn't great in the G League either. That part is a little worrisome too.
I thought he was good in the G League.
Had his moments. I want to see if you're
he shot much better.
Pick, I want to see you kind of take it two guys in the G League. But again, he was young, man, and came out of a weird spot in Indiana. I don't know how much he was there. So yeah, let's see. Should you go back to the Stopic pick?
Yeah.
It's a little weird for the Thunder. They tend to prefer dribble pass shoot guys with their perimeter players. It's not really a shooter yet, but maybe they give him the year, let him rehab the knee, work on the jump shot, and then throw him into the guard rotation with Wallace and SGA and Caruso moving forward. Let's see. And Caruso, as it stands right now, it sounds like they're going to do what they can to extend him, but he doesn't have he's going into his final year of his contract. So if that gets a little weird, you've got at least a player who maybe can step in and replace. So I kind of like this pick for them. It's an upside.
Any restrictions for the timing of a Caruso extension?
Now what will happen is if they want to give him a bigger extension, they'll have to wait 6 months, but we'll see. They might have enough the 120% might be enough for him. We'll see where it goes.
I think if there was a team that could take the risk of drafting Topic in the lottery, it would be OKC. I do have questions about the pick though. Like you said, it does feel a little bit off for OKC. But I mean, he was a top 5 guy, like I said, fairly consensusly, towards the beginning of the process. And yeah, just an upside pick. If it works out, it really works out for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think you might be able to get away with having the luxury to make a pick like this here at 12.
Completely agree.
Let's see. Ben said, I swear we were doing last year's draft like yesterday. Where's the time gone? Right? Time flies. I listen to Trevor all the time, so excited to hear Keith's opinion. Well, welcome, Ben. We're happy to have you here, but it does feel like it was yesterday that we were here talking through the NBA draft, and here it is a year later. Time flies in the NBA.
Feels like it was just a little over a week ago that the Celtics and Lakers were tied in titles, and here we are. That's not the case anymore.
Keith just got removed from the show on that one. I'm sorry.
He can put himself back in this show. You should be giving me that before. Sean's like, I wasn't paying attention. What happened?
I know. I'm so confused right now. Oh, man.
A little real-time math here from my guy Scott over on Spot Track. Minnesota, with all the players that they have, adding in the 8th pick, if they also keep the 27th pick, tax bill, $87 million tax bill on top of what they're outlaid in salary.
Ooh. 87 million?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. We're living in a new world in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Chat. I'm starting to get nervous for the Lakers pick because
Why?
The board is falling too good right now. So I'm like, no, don't.
Who is it that you're hoping?
Yeah, who is it you want? Where are you at?
It's Carter, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have Carter still available. Don Connect is still here. Da Silva's still here. You could still go one of the bigs. Like, this board, like I said, don't botch this, please. Literally any one of those 5 players. There's 5 players there.
Okay, name the 5 again.
Connect, Carter, De Silva, Ware, Holmes. Oh man.
Yep.
EC, right?
Misi, Collier,
I like
McCain.
McCain's still there. Yeah.
Yep.
They're gonna get a good player.
One of those guys is going to be there for sure. There's going to be multiple of those players will be there. What, 3, 4 of those guys will be there, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like McCain. I really do. He's 15th on my board, so the value would be fine. Yeah, for that reason, I think I prefer him in a different spot. He is really tough. Like he has upside too.
Boards. Like,
yeah, really good rebounder.
You guys watched our show earlier this morning with Bryce when we talked draft. I like guards who rebound. I think it shows toughness. I think it shows an ability to get in there and play really hard. I love those guys.
And I love his shot. He has a fantastic shot. You can replicate it time after time after time. It's consistent. And that's fantastic. So I'm not saying he would be a bad pick for them. The lack of burst and the size worry me. I mean, those are the big knocks on him. But I mean, he's a good shooter, and that's something that you need. So there's going to be some good players here for the Lakers to potentially pick at 17.
One more shout out from my guy Scott. The Wolves would still have to fill a couple more roster spots too.
Oh,
so probably minimum signings, but who knows? They kind of have been indicating they want to re-sign Kyle Anderson. So
this is all a plot to get Glenn Taylor to go. How much? Okay, all right, you can have it. Never mind, you can have the team.
Yeah, they're living in a new world there for sure.
Yeah. Watch the Lakers will confuse us all and draft Bub Carrington.
I love Bub. I'd be really disappointed. Yeah.
That would make Bryce very happy.
Bub wanted us to.
Oh no! No!
I love this fit.
Good Sacramento. No.
Here's the thing. Hold on though. Does he stay?
He's staying there.
Could he head to Washington? Washington doesn't have a ton at they've got Malcolm Brogdon, but that's not like a long-term answer at point guard. Let's see.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect value regardless of who's picking here or like this is great value in my opinion.
If you're the Kings, to me, this says if they keep this pick. Oh, what do we got?
It says they're focused on him.
Okay.
Woj focused on Devin Carter, so it sounds like they're not trading that pick.
Yeah, let's see. If they keep it, I think we're probably at the end of the Devian Mitchell
experiment.
Yeah.
I think they're probably gonna probably he's got 1 year left, but there'll be no extension. Wouldn't be surprised if he's moved in a trade.
Welcome in. We've got Kobe Mentality, a new channel member. Welcome. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, nice.
Carter,
Monk, and Fox. That's a pretty good 3-guard rotation.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good. So Carter off the board. That means all of our picks are still alive for our predictions right now.
All right, we're in there. A few picks
Sacramento.
Away.
Yeah, we're a few picks away here.
Portland's pick, but this is being made for Washington. This is part of that Avdija Brogdon trade.
I would love for them to take Collier here. I would love that. Or Bub. Bub would be really fun.
Yeah.
But why is Connect still sitting there?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about.
That feels like I'm guessing. Gotta be
that has to be the thing.
Yeah.
But I thought we learned our lesson last year with the older thing, honestly, or like recent years.
Connect will go to Miami and be instantly awesome.
Oh no!
Probably, right? Like,
you're so right too.
Seems like how it's
yep. If he's there, Miami is taking him. It's gonna happen.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's gonna happen. That's such a Miami pick.
Portland but really Washington for the pick. I think it was Jake Fisher reported earlier today that they're open to moving Corey Kispert, who's extension eligible. So maybe they get out of that. They could just pick Connect as his replacement because they're somewhat similar-ish players in the way they play. I think Connect's a better all-around scorer. I think Kispert might be a better all-around playmaker, but similar-ish players there. So let's see where that goes. But yeah.
All right, let's see where this ultimately winds up. Let me check here. Jay Singh said pick a scorer to boost the bench. It depends on who that is.
Sure.
I've got a few chat questions that I missed here, so I'm going to get to these.
Do you have any top 10 players really fast, Keith, left on your board?
I think I do. I think I've Connect. I think he might be. Yeah, it was him and Topich were my last 2 top 10 guys. So my top guys available are Connect, McCain, Filipowski, Collier, Jacoby Walter, Johnny Furphy.
Okay. Mine is Collier, Connect, McCain, De Silva, Bub Carrington.
All right. This chat question said, any reason Klingon fell? Wasn't this the draft where everyone was going to trade their first? Maybe this draft is viewed by better over those teams, or maybe the prices were too high. The Klingon thing we can get to in just a second, why Klingon fell. As far as everyone trading their first, everyone was willing to trade their first. A lot of teams put out there, we're willing to trade our first in order to get win now talent. Doesn't mean there were going to be sellers of win now talent to get with those first. That wasn't a definite. So I think that's the difference there.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I think it takes 2, right? And if they were holding up and saying we need more, that makes it hard to try to get those picks moved. Zach Edey at 17 is not going to be the pick. I've seen that now like 4 or 5 times. They already get picked. The Memphis Grizzlies took him at 9.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, you missed it. Look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love what an update. I didn't know we could make scrolling things. Now I'm going to play, and we're going to have some fun here.
It's in the banners. So when the Lakers pick comes in and one of us jumps, and eventually I'm going to jump out for a few moments, somebody else will have to update the ticker. It's really easy, though.
Yeah. But back to that question. Yeah, Klingon, I don't know that he fell as much as teams just had other priorities. They had. I don't know that any of those teams needed a center as much as they did. So yeah, I think we're in a spot where that one made sense. Washington
Wolverine loves this pick.
Bub Carrington.
Wait. Hell yeah, let's go. I love that pick for Washington.
Yeah. Really flew up the boards as the draft process went along. A lot of people, fell in love with this kid after talking to him, seeing him work out, and those kind of things. I know a lot of people came away super impressed with him in the draft process. So again, Portland, it's going to come up as Portland, but this pick is on the way to Washington as part of the. It'll be this pick and Malcolm Brogdon for Denny Avdia.
Is this the first wrong hat we have of the night?
Rob Dillingham.
No, wait, Dillingham. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Yep. Only our second traded.
I love this pick
though,
so much, man.
Yeah, this is a good one.
All right. So now we're at 15 with Miami, which means
all of our guys are on the board still.
Which means connect. I would have to imagine a Miami. That's just a Miami style pick.
I see them going guard.
That's where they should go. I could just see them saying, "No, we'll pick the older guy again and just do what we do."
If they go guard, who are they taking?
I think this is the McCain spot, either McCain or Collier.
So. Yeah, I think it'd be McCain. He just has heat guard written all over him.
Yeah,
and I could see Philly also going with a guard next too, with the 16th pick.
Man,
we could get a little guard run here.
Walter, Connect, De Silva, McCain, Ware, Misi, all these guys still on the board.
Yeah, Connects. This is a big slide now.
Yeah,
because we thought he was going to be a mid lottery guy, and now we're out of the lottery. This was the last lottery pick, so. He's the biggest slide so far, I think, of anybody.
Is he panicking like Bo Callahan?
Does he get up and storm out?
Storm out.
His agent has to go tell him, get back in there. Everybody's watching. Maybe. Could be. I don't know.
All right. Man. Interesting the way this is all unfolding. Let's go. If the Lakers draft someone who looks like an odd fit, does that hint at a trade? Like they drafted someone for another team they planned a trade with. Usually we hear pretty quick if there's a trade that's in the works, sometimes even before the pick. So I wouldn't necessarily, but like, who would be a weird pick for the Lakers at this point?
Yeah, I don't know who would jump out as like a super odd pick because they kind of could use, like, they could use a guard, they could use a wing, they could use a big. So I don't know what would really jump out as like, oh gosh, that's got to be a trade thing.
I'm so Connect to Philly would be low key. If Connect had to go here, that's where Connect's going.
He should. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, that'd be a good pick for them too as they start to fill things out around Embiid and Maxey. Now you have a shooter in there, and let's go. So
yeah. Oh yeah, chat. Scoob says, "Well, I'm nervous now." Yeah, that's kind of why I'm starting to get a little bit more quiet.
Are you getting nervous?
I'm getting a little nervous just to see like not nervous, more anxious, just to see what they are gonna do at 17.
Not sure what happened, but Shams just tweeted the exact same thing again. So I'm not sure what that was about, but okay.
Yeah. There was a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And he did it again.
Huh.
He really likes that pick a lot.
Clearly.
Let's pull this one up real quick.
Maybe
here.
Sean is Shams connected to your Wi-Fi?
Oscar Lopez says, I thought Blazers are drafting at 14. Portland did draft at 14, but they drafted for Washington. This pick, along with Malcolm Brogdon, are going to the Wizards for Denny Avdia. Avdia is headed to Portland.
I will say this, knock on wood, considering like how weird it was acting before like we did our pre-draft meeting.
It's been much better.
Way better. So
yes. Yeah, knock on wood, right?
Knock on wood.
If Shams get hacked, I would hope the hacker would do something better tonight of all night and just put the same tweet out multiple times.
Yeah, that's kind of a lame hack.
Yeah, at least put your Cash App out there or something.
Guys, down bad. Cash at me.
I can't imagine Lakers selecting Bronny at 17. Yeah, that's
one of the replies to Shams was, "Are you drunk?"
Jeez.
It had to be something where like it looked like it wasn't going through and he hit the button like multiple times or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I bet. Yeah.
All right. So Miami on the clock right now. And we'll see.
Yeah. Two picks to the Lakers come up. Somebody asked me in the chat, I'm not going to go back and find it, if I would trade Peyton Pritchard for Jalen Hood-Schifino, and the answer is no. I would not. Yeah, Mr. Half-court shot. No way, man. That's a proven skill now.
Hitting half-court shots.
Yeah. Oh, let's grab this one real quick because I can tell you. The 17th
How much money does the 17th pick get?
Gets $3.8 million in year one, and total money over the 4-year deal would be $18.5 million total. So 3.8, 4 million, 4.2, 6.5.
Let's go. That's if you find a rotation player for that, you're feeling great if you can get that in this draft.
Yep.
There it is.
Such a heat pick. That's
Jared McCain.
Yeah, I like that one, man. He's tough. That is a good pick for the Heat. So my guy's off the board. So I'm out, fellas. We need y'all to carry.
Are we? Sean, are the Lakers going to get Connect?
I think Philly just takes them. I really think Philly takes them here. Like if I'm Philly,
is that who you want now?
That's what I want. Like I would love to get Connect because I think that's the obvious BPA and like best fit too. But like I think Philly just needs to sprint to the podium and say, "Don't Connect." Nothing to think about if I'm Philly, at least.
I haven't even been thinking of him.
We've never talked about Connect on a single Lakers Nation video.
Because everybody projected he was going to be gone by then.
Yeah. No one thought he'd still be on the board.
Quickly about Jared McCain, I do like this pick a ton. This is perfect value, right where I had him on my board at number 15. Obviously, gets nodded as like an elite shooter, which he is, right? Keith talked about his toughness with his rebounding ability, and I think that's a perfect spot for Miami. I think he has underrated upside as a player, where I think You look at the situation at Duke where they had a bunch of other primary ball handlers that's where they were best at, like Caleb Foster, Tyrese Proctor. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Swerve.
They're taking Kello Ware, but they already took McCain.
No, well, apparently there was bad intel because the pick is only just now.
The pick just now got in. Yeah.
So,
Jake Fisher says McCain. Sham saying Kello Ware.
Let's see. Let's see what the commissioner says.
Yeah. I can't remember where this really happened before.
No, I loved that pick of me. I was just about to say, Sean, as you finished your point, I was going to say I think McCain is their starting point guard by the end of the year.
And so Shams has tweeted out multiple times.
Did Shams get hacked again? And this is fake?
That'd be pretty
Jake.
Jake. I missed it. What did he say?
It's on the screen right now.
Oh, I love it.
That's awesome.
Sometimes you miss. It happens.
All right. So, Keith, you're still alive. My pick is off the board.
All right.
That's comedy. That's an interesting pick.
And now
they're getting a new deal done with Bam.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. Bam signed early. He could have waited. I don't fully understand why he did this. He left a lot of money on the table by signing this 3-year extension now. He could have signed later. There's also a chance Bam Adebayo. Would it shock you if in the next 2 years he made All-NBA or he won Defensive Player of the Year? Probably not, right? So I think we're at a spot with he went early, and I think he could have waited and really cashed in. Great value for Miami. Obviously, Bam will get back on the board around age 31, I guess, but yeah, we'll see.
This is such a weird pick. Like Kello Ware, I feel is the exact opposite of what Miami would do normally.
Yeah, I don't like this pick. I'm not a big fan of his in general anyway. Not that I'm like out on him or anything. I like Yves Missy better. I like Deron Holmes a lot better. I like Filipowski better at the kind of 4-5 big position there. But yeah, a little interesting.
Like I like Ware's 19th on my board, but I don't like this landing spot because I feel like if there was a team now, I had heard that Ware has really crushed some of the pre-draft like interviews and answered some of the questions about his motor and stuff like that, which. I mean, sure, right? But this is, I'm not gonna. Maybe it's the excitement of thinking they took McCain, but I'm not feeling this pick for Miami.
I think I'm a little bummed out about the McCain.
Yeah,
I was so ready. Philly, take McCain, please.
So does Philly take him then? Philly probably does.
Philly should take Connect.
They should take Connect.
Or they should take Connect.
Like sprint to the podium and take Don Connect, please.
All right. Studio Stu determined. He feels the moment, the tension of the moment. Says I got to be part of this.
Lakers taking Jacoby Walter at 17, says the chat. I don't want that to happen personally.
Is Dalton pulling an Austin Reeves and telling teams not to draft them? That's a little different. In the second round, when teams are offering up like 2-way contracts, there's a little bit more ability to do stuff like that.
Philadelphia takes Don Connect.
Yeah, because in that spot you can say I'm just going to sign the 1-year required tender and then force your hand and those kind of things. That doesn't happen. It might happen at the very top of the draft, but not like this.
Philly, like, don't overthink this, dude.
Guys, you got to look at the ticker going across the bottom if you're watching. People keep saying the Lakers need to take Zach Edey.
I think they're trolling you at this point with it. Or I hope.
I don't know. Weird.
Top 3 best available players right now. For me, it's Connect, Collier, and Jared McCain still technically.
Yeah, mine are Connect, McCain, and Kyle Filipowski.
Okay. Oh, so you're really high on Filipowski.
Filipowski's up there still.
He's gonna be pretty good.
I have Filipowski late first round.
The Lakers could take him.
I wouldn't be the biggest fan.
And where does Misi land in all this?
Yeah, I think especially now if they go big, I think they're taking Misi.
You would take Misi over Holmes if both are there?
Oh no, but I think that's what they're going to do.
Okay. So if Connect is there, you're taking him.
Connect. Yes.
Otherwise, you would go
Silva or Misi probably.
Silva or Misi.
I like De Silva. I think that'd be a pretty good pick for the Lakers.
What do you think about the Kuzma comp for De Silva?
I think it's not. There's not a perfect comp, but I see it. It's not.
Yeah, comp. I think he's a better rebounder than Kuzma is. I don't know that it'll be the shooter that Kuzma is. I think that's a little weird of a comp. I think De Silva could be very Jaime Jaquez like. With the way he plays, just kind of can do a lot of things. I'm there, so
good cutter.
Yeah, Philly's been linked to De Silva at times.
Pretty good passer.
Yeah, he is a really nice passer, especially connective playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Philly maybe think about De Silva here as well. Like they've been linked to them a ton, especially in like a lot of mock drafts. Philly, what are we doing?
The clock is ticking here.
And just so we're on the same page, it was Kel'el Ware when the pick was officially made.
Okay, yeah. It was indeed.
I know we were there, but just so everybody's there.
This would be X would break. X would break. If the Lakers picked Bronny at 17, X would break.
I don't even know.
Keith, what do you like about Filipowski if he winds up being the pick?
I just think he's going to be a translatable offensive big. I think he could do a lot of different things. I think he like a lot of Duke bigs. He's pretty good at handling the ball out on the perimeter. He's pretty good at reading the floor. He can make some passes. He could be a pretty good short roll passer right away in the pick and roll. Defensively, he's wary a little bit. He's not the bruising big that teams need. So I like him as a player quite a bit. I don't know that the fit would be great. Philly, I don't really like him for it all. And I wouldn't be sold on the fit with the Lakers just because I don't think he's the right kind of big to put next to AD. If that's the way you were going to play at times. But, overall, I just like him as a player. I think he'll shoot it too. I think, he's a nice player, and he's played nothing but like big games forever, and that matters to me when you're playing big games all the time.
What's so interesting about that is I completely agree with everything you said about him as an offensive player. The defense is really concerning for me. I think just the lack of strength in terms of being able to go up against bigger players with finishing at the rim. I mean, I like him. My comp was kind of like a Kelly Olynyk type. Where I just had him a little bit, further down my board. Philly is taking their good sweet ass time. Excuse my language, but like Philly is.
You're just tense. There's still like a minute and a half on the clock.
Yeah,
Philly could be engaged in trade talks with this pick too.
That's true.
Because if their whole goal is to clear as much cap space as possible, they might be trying to get out of this pick. They might be trying to get out of it entirely.
That's true. If Dalton is 17, Rob should call Atlanta for Murray. I don't know if that changes Atlanta's value. I mean, for what the 17th pick is worth. But you're right. Philly might be trying to trade this pick if they're trying to maintain that cap space. And I have a feeling there will be some takers.
Jared
McCain.
Yep. So my pick is now again. I mean, we think it's Jared McCain.
Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
It's from Shams.
Yeah, Jared McCain off the board there. So let's see. All right, my pick's off the board. Sean, who did you have?
Misi, which dog take Connect.
And Trevor, you had Ware, right?
I had Ware. So our picks went boom boom.
Our streak is Sean's on the line with Misi, but yeah, you gotta take Dalton Connect, right? Like, just give yourself another shooter. Connect,
right?
I mean,
sneaky athlete too. Like Connect's a really good player.
Yeah, I think what you do is
he's older.
Yeah, but that's good for the Lakers. You're trying to win right now, right? You're not trying to develop kids. So I would I would run with that. Run with Connect out there, probably bring him off the bench early. He could even probably key some of your second unit scoring a little bit.
Yes.
Once he adjusts, and then maybe eventually you start. I think him and Reeves together, that gives the defense a couple attack points that I don't love. But I mean, eventually, I think he'd be a really good player, for the Lakers. I mean, kind of fell in their lap. I would do this.
I mean, I'm having Cam Whitmore PTSD right now.
Oh man, that's bad.
Like this is you got to take him here, right? If you're the Lakers.
Yeah.
Unless the Lakers really just they love Messi and they think he's the next big thing, and then maybe Sean's right. I mean, again, there's other prospects that are really interesting here, but Connect has been, I mean, he's been mocked at 7 for some of these drafts we've seen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he was definitely a mid lottery guy for almost every mock. I see the chat saying he's old. I get it, but
I don't care.
Like you're trying to win right now. Like you're fine with an older player. It's not, he's not 30. He's not one of these BYU kids that's been on 20
He's 23
coming in as a 30.
Yeah.
Like he's 23. Like it's fine. I'll put it this way. Would you have liked it now in retrospect? They had taken Jaime Haka as if they had the chance? Probably. Right?
Oh yeah.
He's a pretty good player, and that was the knock on him coming in. I would go with Connect. Let's see. And they're about to go on the clock because the Sixers pick is being announced.
Yep. Sixers pick is being announced. The Lakers are on the block. Or on the clock, I should say.
Maybe it is on the block. Who knows?
It could be. I mean, hey, you know what? If I'm another team, I'm calling right now, trying to see if I can get Connect.
Hey, while we're waiting on this to come in, Sean, to take your mind off it momentarily, you like McCain and Maxey together in the backcourt in Philly?
I guess maybe, like, again, going back to your point with the rebounding, you're like, well, McCain's a good enough rebounder. He has good instincts, especially off the ball defensively. I think they're just going to put him in a 3-and-D, not 3-and-D role, but as a backup point guard role. That'd be like a secondary ball handler for them. Yeah.
A little small to play the two of them together.
Yeah. But, they are a really, really, that's fun, man. McCain's awesome. Like I said, he has underrated upside, I feel. Yeah, like that's a fun pick. McCain's awesome. One of my more favorite players in this draft.
Give him a year to learn from Kyle Lowry too, who's probably going back there. Can learn some of the tricks of the trade. With
Dan Wojcicki just tweeted out that JJ Redick was talking about how badly the Lakers need two-way players. Is Connect's defense enough of an issue to where you would pass on him here?
The BPA. Yeah. And I think Bryce, Simon, our buddy, and then Sam Vecini have talked about this on the Game 3 pod a ton, that the expectation with Connect heading the last season at Tennessee was, after transferring, hey, look, he's going to downsize an offensive role. Maybe you see an uptick in the defensive production. It was the exact opposite because he took such a bigger jump in usage rate. I think he competes defensively. He does have some athletic limitations defensively, but he competes. And I think with a downsize in offensive role, obviously at the NBA level, I think he can be a capable defender.
Here's what I like most with Dalton Connect. First year in Division I at Northern Colorado, 36% from three on 3.8 attempts per game. Second year at Northern Colorado, 38% on 6.3 attempts per game. You wonder, how's that going to translate? He's moving from Northern Colorado to the SEC. In the SEC, 39.7% on 6.5 3-point attempts per game. Like that's lights out shooting stuff. The rebounding fell off a little bit. That's a place where I think a little bit of the lack of athleticism showed up. But he proved at the SEC level, the league rather, where there's a lot of players who play really good defense. They play very physical. He could hang and play. So I'm not like this guy's going to adjust fine. Probably again defensively, I don't know. But to Sean's point, I wouldn't let that scare me off the player.
The only guy here for LA that I really wouldn't like is Jacoby Walter, because I think what you're getting from Jacoby Walter, there's just better options, primarily being Dalton Connect here. So just take Dalton Connect. If you're not taking Connect, maybe you take Da Silva, good positional size, probably the better defender. Obviously the big options here are Deron Holmes, and Yves Missi. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I really want Connect, and then any one of those other like 3 guys I mentioned, I'd be fine with. The pick is in on the
pick is in.
Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect it is.
Let's go.
There it is.
Boom.
There it is. That's a great pick, man. Talk about kid slide, and you jumped on it. Outstanding pick for the Lakers. Great value.
I can't believe he fell that far, but yeah, glad the Lakers didn't pass on him. We'll take it. Oh man, you know what? More than excitement, I'm relieved that the Lakers didn't pass on the guy who slid this year.
It's gonna make Summer League really fun too. It'll be a fun Summer League player to watch. This year, he's going to take a little bit of time to develop, especially on the defensive end. But all around, this is an outstanding pick for the Lakers.
There we go. Connect it is. Sean, you want to do a little analysis on Connect, and then I'll post something over on Lakers Nation. Give us your thoughts on it. Then jump out and do a video for Lakers Nation, and then we'll trade places.
Absolutely no problem there. Dalton Connect, he was my 11th ranked player in this class. I think this is impeccable value for LA. I think, wow, Da Silva, that was quick. Okay.
Orlando ran. They did not walk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean. Finish your Connect point. Trevor and I will cover off on Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Connect, obviously amazing shooter. I think he doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. It's just a 3-level scorer in general. Where he's facing the best defensive assignment every night while at Tennessee and still doing a fairly decent job at that department. I just buy everything about him. I buy his work ethic. I buy the shooting and the scoring ability. And then, like I touched on, hopefully with the downsized and offensive role, you can maybe tap into some of what is there defensively. While Keith said it is going to take a little bit to really get there, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I think people are gonna learn too. This guy can really put the ball on the floor a little bit too. He can take a hit and score off contact. He is an outstanding player. Yeah, and I like this because this is absolutely true. Whoops, let me get it up there. Right?
Oh, that's happening. That's happening.
Connect 3, yeah.
Connect 3. That is 100%.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have fun with it. A lot of people are gonna have fun with it. With all this stuff here with the last name, like that's a fun name. There's gonna be a lot of Dalton Connects from D.
Connects.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's totally gonna happen. All right, guys, I'll be back.
All right, let me know when you got that all finished, and we'll get that posted. Thanks, man. All right. So now we've got Da Silva going to Orlando.
We sent Sean off to bed, by the way. It's almost 10 on the East Coast.
The street lights are on, so yeah.
It's time for bed, Sean. Good
night. Sean's recording a video for Lakers Nation breaking down what the connection brings to the Lakers. God, I'm gonna have fun with that.
Yeah, man, you are gonna love it. You're gonna be the pun master with this.
That's right. He's gonna be the pun connection. So Sean's gonna do a little video there. I'll get that posted over at Lakers Nation in just a bit. After he does his analysis, we're gonna swap places, and Sean will jump back in here, and I'll go get that.
All right, time to be honest.
Yeah.
How worried were you it might have been Bronny?
I wasn't that worried I was like 1% worried it was gonna be Bronny. When Connect was there, I was almost more, just because he was that faller, I was more worried they were gonna pass on him because they weren't expecting him to be there or something than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not that worried they were going to take Bronny.
I wasn't.
It was so crazy to do that I didn't imagine they were going to do it.
I think they're taking him tomorrow. I think that'll be a thing.
Yeah,
and we've talked about it. That's fine, right? At 55, that's whatever. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
You're not getting Dalton Connect at 55, and whoever else you pass on doesn't matter. Tristan Da Silva to the Magic. I like this pick. Good kind of combo backup forward for Orlando behind Banchero and Wagner. They can afford to let him kind of come in and develop a little bit here with this. So yeah, I like this pick for the Magic. I think this is a pretty solid pick for them.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of everything. So I think it's a good pickup for Orlando. Orlando's still looking for a guard, but Da Silva can shoot, and so that helps them. They need shooters, but they're still looking for a guard. They'll look to free agency for that. Could be a landing spot for Klay Thompson, maybe. It could be a D'Angelo Russell. Could be a few guys that could land there to try to fill that role. And Orlando will look to make their push back into the playoffs and see if they can get a little bit further this next year.
Yeah, I want to address, somebody said something about Connect in the chat. I've lost it now. It's going too fast, but somebody said he looks like an Austin Reeves clone. He's a good deal bigger than Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Reeves is a better ball handler and playmaker. Austin Reeves is a true guard. Connect is much more of a wing. He's a pretty good ball handler and playmaker for a wing, but he's got more size. But Austin gets to his stuff a little easier. But what Connect will do right away, he's going to shoot it right away. Then he's going to be pretty good at driving closeouts. That'll be kind of step 2, and then step 3 will be throw him the ball, let him make a couple moves off a dribble and find something. So yeah, I think he's. I mean, as much as it pains the Celtics, got to say it, outstanding pick. For the Lakers. This is a good one.
Matthew says, can he choose jersey number 4? I like it.
Is that available?
I think so. I'm terrible at remembering who has what jersey number.
Hold on, I'll look. Let's see.
Who has had it?
I mean, if so, yes. Like,
Ron Harper. I knew there was. Byron Scott, of course, had it. Luke Walton. Yeah. I think it's available.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be, right? None of those guys even get retired.
Ryan Kelly had it. I mean, you can't take Ryan Kelly.
Now I don't know. Now maybe not, right? All right. So number 8 is their lowest number. Obviously, Kobe is the lowest retired number that they have. So here's the history of number 4s.
Lonnie Walker. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker had it. Skylar Mays had it briefly this year. Rajon Rondo. Alex Caruso was number 4. DJ Augustine, Marcelo Huertas, Anton Jameson, Ron Harper, Frankie King. Oh, how do we forget? Byron Scott.
Byron Scott, 4. That's right. Yeah.
Adrian Dantley had it before Byron Scott. So, but it's not retired. So yeah, why not? Now I want it to happen.
Yeah, it's for a marketing tool. You have, I mean, give him that.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
That would be that you got to, yeah. The Lakers marketing department simply has to give him that number. Like that's a it's like Andre Kirilenko had to wear number 47.
Yes, yeah, for years. Yep.
All right. Let's see here. How does he compare to Bogdan Bogdanović? Is he a similar player?
Little bit bigger, probably not quite as good of an off the dribble scorer. Maybe a slightly better shooter as an off-ball player, but that's not a bad comp. Somewhere between the 2 different Bogdanovićs.
I was going to say, is he more Bojan Bogdanović then?
Yeah, Bojan was really a very underrated shooter scorer at the peak of his career. Like people don't, I think, fully realize like he was a 20 point per game guy with relative ease for a few years there. But yeah, I mean those aren't bad comps at all for Connect.
Yeah, I mean I like that. Oh, I'm just looking. There was a quote that came out from Connect just saying it's a dream come true and he's ready to work. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. I'm trying to save some Connect pictures so I can get some editing
I'll do
done.
some super chats.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, I'm gonna just start grabbing them because who knows? Thanks. I'm not Brian Windhorst, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you. Appreciate it. Alex says, I love this pick. Didn't think Connect would be there for us at 17. I don't think anybody did.
No.
With that one there. Nathan asked, does Connect mean Torian is gone free agent impacts? Yeah, probably. I don't know that Taurean Prince was coming back anyway. Pretty limited in what the Lakers could offer him. So
yeah, and I did an interview with him like a month ago, and he said he wanted to come back. Like that was his hope, was he wanted to stay in LA. That his family really likes it, and he said they like it in Southern California better than his last few stops. But I don't know that they'll have the money to bring him back. That's going to be the challenge for him.
Yep. Chat lie. Don't like the pick. Scratching my head. Oh, can't lie. Okay. What? Let us know why you don't like the pick. I think it's a pretty good pick for the Lakers. Aldog says, what does drafting Connect mean for Christie and JHS? Nothing for Hood Schifino. They don't play the same position. He did completely different player there. Max Christie could be a roster spot casualty now. That's what you're going to start to run up against a little bit there. Maxwell Lewis maybe too could be on the move. Connect is a big upgrade over him as a player, so we'll see. With that one, that's a little. But let's see. Daniel just showing a little bit of love. Thank you. We appreciate you. Is Connect a D'Lo replacement? No, they don't.
Different player.
Different player. D'Lo point guard. Connect is a wing. Welcome to Lakers Nation. Now goodbye from Lakers Nation.
I think he's referring to the Lakers' habit of trading away their young players.
Turning around and trading. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Miguel, yep, you and probably millions of your fellow Laker fans looking up the Connect highlights there. So for sure, Sam says, Sam, who has been very generous over the years, says absolutely outstanding, fantastic comment from Sam. Thanks so much, Sam. We appreciate you though, man. We're really great stuff over the last few years here. Draft Connect and trade with Portland for Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant trade would be kind of difficult for the Lakers, but maybe. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Another pick in.
Okay, Toronto's. Okay,
Toronto.
Kobe Walter. Okay.
Yep.
That says to me we're done with Gary Trent Jr. In Toronto. They're probably moving on because you don't need them now. So you've now got kind of his replacement now in house, and you've got all these other 2-guard-ish players too.
Sean, did you already record the Connect thing?
Yep. All good.
Wow. Efficiency. All right. I'm going to jump out.
I didn't want to go too long because I figured we were going to talk about it a little bit more in depth later. So
we'll do a live afterwards. So you guys, I'm sure between two of you guys can figure out the scrolling
I can do
ticker.
Yep. Sean, what do you think about De Silva to the Magic? We'll get caught up with your thoughts on the last couple picks.
Yeah, sure. I think that crap. Wait, no, Trevor actually has to be the guy that does the ticker because it's on his end. I can't.
Oh, I think I can do it. I've got it. I can do it. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, maybe
Tristan De Silva.
All right, go ahead.
Tristan De Silva. I really like the fit for Orlando. I've them, more recently like guards and things of that nature, right? But if I'm looking at my board, the only guard, like the guards on my board, like Collier's the top ranked guard. But then after that, it's a pretty significant drop off for me in terms of the guards that would have been available. So like going wing, who actually was BPA, in my opinion, at least, makes a ton of sense. 3-and-D upside, I feel. And I feel like they need more guys that can actually shoot the daggone ball. And I like that pick a ton for Orlando.
Yeah, I think he's just a nice kind of – I think he may even have a little bit of ability to play up at the 4 a little bit in some lineups if you have the right 5 on the floor. And that's good to have another guy behind Banchero and Wagner. That can give you a little bit more depth at that spot. What do you think about Jacoby Walter to the Raptors at 19?
I think I was, coming in when you were saying this, but like this almost signals the end of Gary Trent Jr. in Toronto.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to. I feel like I'm lower on Jacoby Walter, but I like this spot for Jacoby Walter to Toronto. You can let him develop, go through his growing pains or some of the stuff that I don't like about him as a player. And he can turn into a really, really fun player. He's a good player. He was 19th, 20th exactly. So, good value in my opinion. And yeah, I like the pickup ultimately for Toronto.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. So the Raptors, as it stands right now, because we've all the reporting has been that they're going to pick up their team option for Bruce Brown. So guys who play the 2 on that roster, taking Trent Jr. out of the mix because we don't think he's going to be there. RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Bruce Brown, Ochai Agbaji, and now you had Jacoby Walter into that mix. And obviously a couple of those guys can play the 3 and will probably play the 3. I think they're kind of more locking in Scotty Barnes as like a playmaking 4. They're doing the big wing thing like a lot of teams are now. But yeah, I mean, I think Walter comes in, Bruce Brown gets moved on from. I think he comes in and you just he comes off the bench, and if he can beat out Ochai Agbaji, then he moves right into the rotation as a backup guard.
Yeah, I agree.
Got to do something at point guard though. They don't have anything right now at point guard.
But
as much as you run it through Barnes, that's rough.
Yeah, like Toronto, I think would have been a team that I think could take the gamble of Isaiah Collier.
Yeah,
and just take the upside. Like we're in Isaiah Collier range where it's like, okay, the value is just too good. Unless you have a legit star already at point guard, the value's too good.
I agree. And with Collier too, there's a reason why he was been talked about as the number 1 overall pick earlier in the year. Yes, he had a messy year at USC. That whole team was a mess at USC this year. So I'm not out on Isaiah Collier at all. I think Isaiah Collier is a guy I would still be pretty high on here. Let's get to a couple questions here from Sonny. How are you guys defending the Lakers pick? He's going to get eaten alive defensively by all of the elite guards. Lakers are keeping Reeves, so they need an elite point of attack defender or 2-way wing player. All right, I'm not gonna. Yes, I don't know that he's going to get eaten alive, and I don't think he's going to be defending all that many guards. I think they're going to try to keep him on wings as much as they can.
And I think while the sentiment of this super chat being like, yeah, they need POA defense, 2-way wing, and all that good stuff, right? I'm not even saying that's wrong, but I don't particularly care that much because this is so clearly BPA in my opinion. And if we're looking at that archetype, right, elite POA or 2-way wing player, the only guy that's even in close consideration for that is Tristan da Silva, who's more 3-and-D, and he's not an elite POA guy. And this is where you start getting the reach territory, in my opinion, especially at 17, is Johnny Furphy, where he's early 20s for me. He's 25th on my board right now. And I do like Johnny Furphy, but it's okay, just trade back, or what are we doing here at that point? So yeah, it's BPA, and the guy, if you're hell bent on getting this need, you're not getting that at 17, especially with the way the board fell.
All right, we've got our next pick. It's Cleveland Cavaliers. This one's a little bit of a surprise. This is one of Bryce Simon's favorite players in the draft, Jalen Tyson.
They went Tyson, okay.
Cavs. Yeah. And we're already getting the next pick, New Orleans, Yves Missi.
That's
off the
interesting.
Board New Orleans. That one makes sense. They need a big. If Valanciunas is out there moving on, they don't have anything at the center spot. Now, I like Missy for them. I think that's a pretty good pickup. I don't know that I super duper love the fit next to Zion, but I think you can make it.
Yeah. So I am struggling. I'm trying to catch up on my
right. I know. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. So Jalen Tyson off the board. He's a wing, really good size. Player who kind of came on as the year went along for Cal. I know a lot of teams kind of liked his athleticism. Thought he could be a player, and that's a spot where a little bit of stuff in transition in Cleveland. Isaac Okoro is a restricted free agent. They don't have a ton on the wing there, so I think Tyson. I don't know if he plays day one, but I think he's a guy who could come in and eventually give them some minutes. Probably more a year two guy for giving the Cavs minutes, but I think he can be a player.
Yeah, Jalen Tyson. I'm a tad lower on him compared to the value. I had him 26th on my board, but this kind of makes sense for the Cavs because the Cavs are a weird team to draft for. Like, if we're being honest, like, maybe you could have got more long-term upside, but I don't know with the board looking like this. So it's a fine pick. I mean, you could have gone like a Pacome Dadier or like a Johnny Furphy, but this is a good spot, I think, for Jalen Tyson ultimately to the Cavs.
Hey, I want to go back to something with the Lakers pick because we didn't talk about it yet. How happy now are you that the Pelicans deferred?
Oh, man.
Right?
I'm so...
We didn't even talk about that at all, but yeah, I mean that's to talk about a little bit of a sliding doors moment there. Maybe that's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I didn't even think about that.
All right, let's move into the Yves Missi conversation. Athletic guy, can do a lot of different things. As far as a defender, I think he can switch a little bit. He can really kind of move his feet. I think he's a pretty good athlete. Rebounding it's good. He's more athletic than he is like rugged as a rebounder. Does not shoot it at all. He is a catch and dunk guy around the basket. Didn't show much as a passer or anything like that. But interesting player. A lot of upside there too. Only 20. He just turned 22 in the middle of May. Like turned 20 also in the middle of May, I should say. To be a little bit more clear there. So I like it. It's an upside play for the Pelicans at the center spot. Still got to get a veteran center in free agency. You can't go into the season with just Missy there, but we'll see.
I would have went with a DaRon Holmes for New Orleans.
Yeah, I would have liked that better too.
Just because of the fit. But yeah, Yves Missi, a fun prospect that I do think is probably in all reality a year away. He's a fun player, man. I buy the athleticism, really good motor. I think his swing skill set is going to be the short roll playmaking ability because I think I don't know if the shot's ever going to really come. So I'm not really, depending on that. But if he can be a reliable short roll playmaker and develop some more of that feel, then you combine that with his motor and his athleticism. I think he'll ultimately get a good player if that can develop.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things I think about with him, he reminds me a little bit of Precious Achiuwa, as far as being a guy who will run the floor, get on the glass, play really, really hard. So I kind of like that. All right, let's do a couple more super chats while we wait here. Matt Cassidy, connect better numbers and same height as Clay. I can see a lot of Klay Thompson in his highlights, ability to score. I don't care about the defense. I'm glad you don't care about the defense because he's nowhere near Klay Thompson's level as a defender, even coming in as a rookie. There was a thought of, hey, well, if nothing else, at least because this guy will defend. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of similarities there. I think Klay was is a better shooter, where Klay is one of the elite shooters that the league's ever seen. So, but yeah. Miguel says, I hope the Lakers still buy in late first and get Holmes or Yves. Well, Yves is off the board. Holmes, maybe. The challenge is buying a pick is not what it used to be anymore, and it does hard cap you at that second apron. Probably not a concern for the Lakers, the second apron. First apron, maybe. But, yeah, I mean, maybe they'll get back in. You got to find a team that wants to move out in the second round. That would be a little bit of the challenge. Maybe Minnesota, 27th pick, is like, let's get out of here. We already moved up and took on picked up Rob Dillingham and took on additional money there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
God Emperor Sofa King says, if another team picks up Bronny, then what? Then another team picks up Bronny, right? Like, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, just another team gets Bronny. Like, I don't have any.
I mean, right? Like, I don't know anything more to be said for that. I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think the Lakers are at all worried about like, all right, well, if Charlotte takes him, LeBron's going to Charlotte. I think they're done. Like, I think people are, I think they're in a spot where Bronny goes somewhere else. D'Lo to Toronto for Bruce Brown. Toronto gets a point guard. Lakers get perimeter defense. Sure, but that would involve D'Lo having to opt in. It's probably not going to be a sign and trade in that situation. Yeah. And I don't know if D'Lo wants to go to Toronto. So then you're kind of you're kind of stuck there a little bit. D'Lo is Trevor and I have talked about this, and I always talked about it on Lakers Nation. D'Lo is the one who holds all the cards here. He's got all the power right now. This isn't really going to be too much of the Lakers' decision on what happens with him. It's more let me rephrase. I don't dislike the idea of him for Bruce Brown. I think that could help both teams. I just don't know that that's necessarily where he wants to go.
Yeah. Hold on, my bad.
Woj jumping in with while the Cavs have made their pick recently. Kenny Atkinson's deal is 5 years long with the Cavs. So good to know, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll smash your mom. Says Dalton better pick number 4. And Trevor and I talked about that we want him to pick jersey number 4, connect 4. Like that's just funny.
Oh yeah, you kind of have to do that,
right? And then says think about it, connect 4. Shout out to my LDR boys. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. All right, let's see. We've got the Pelicans are still technically on the board. We know they're going to take Yves Missi, and then Phoenix is up next at 22, and then we get the Bucks at 23. Somebody asked me who the Bucks should take. I would go with a big. I think they need a big or they need a wing. I'm kind of thinking Johnny Furphy or maybe a big like Deron Holmes. I think that could be
Do you buy the rumors that Deron Holmes' promise is from Denver? Do you buy that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard mixed things on that. I've heard maybe, but I've heard maybe not. Like some people are very much believe that's where it is. I don't know. I'm really not sure. I think it would be a great pick for Denver. I think that'd be an outstanding pick for them. Let him play behind Jokic and Gordon in a 3-big rotation. I've been a big Zeke Naji supporter, but I'm kind of doubtful he's ever going to put it together at this point. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be fine with it. I think that would be a great pick. I think it'd be a really good pick for Milwaukee too. I think Milwaukee could use another big in their rotation. He probably is a little too overlappy with Bobby Portis because they're both more 4-5 than a true 5. But I wouldn't hate that one.
Yeah, Milwaukee's a fun fit. Denver's such a perfect fit for Deron Holmes though, because like third big Naz Reedish is my kind of combo. I'm like, yeah, like that's perfect for Deron Holmes.
The Leaf says, Keith, how would you feel Boston drafted Bronny? It was funny. I kind of was teasing Trevor because for a little while in their 2-round mock drafts, ESPN had the Celtics picking Bronny with the 54th pick right in front of the Lakers, which I thought was just funny. My thought was if Danny Ainge was still in Boston, I could totally see him doing it just to troll the Lakers and say, hey, I'm picking this guy and I'm going to keep him here. So, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be fine. Again, he would be at that point for them. I know they said he won't take a 2-way contract. I don't know where that would play out with Boston, but I think they'd put him right into Maine and say, all right, figure it out there, kid, because there's nobody they're going to draft in this draft that is going to crack their rotation. It's just Brad Stevens said that on the record meeting with the media that there's not a player in this draft that's going to crack the Celtics rotation next season.
The Suns have to take a guard here, right? I mean, they need everything technically.
Yeah, I like Tyler Kolek for them here. Get a point guard, get a playmaker, get somebody in there that can actually do some stuff for you. At the point.
Like to connect.
Next phase is Joe. Sorry. Next phase says Max Christie can't play in Summer League, right? Yeah, anybody can play in Summer League. Anyone can. They just have to want to.
I can play in Summer League? Me?
I mean, if somebody signed you, sure. Yeah. But there's no rules against who can play in Summer League and can't. I mean, it's really up to the team and the player to decide. I don't think he will. I think he's moved past this. Oh, there it is. Phoenix is trading number 22 to Denver, who's taking Deron Holmes II.
Denver's taking Deron Holmes?
Yep. Yeah, that's I think that's what a pick, right? Well, I mean, now let's see what Phoenix got. for trading out and moving, but Denver's moving up to 22 and taking Deron Holmes. So I like that for Denver for sure. I would have liked it for them at 28. I'm fine with it at 22, pending what they gave up. And Denver's been pretty smart about this stuff. I don't think they probably gave up all that much.
So Deron Holmes, this is, again, a fantastic pick. He was 18th on my board personally. And this is a dream spot. And the more and more I think about it, it makes sense why this was the rumored promise, because this is the spot where he's not going to be a starting, he's probably never going to start, but as the third big, which is my comp, and why I said my pro comp was Naz Reid, in a Naz Reid way, this is perfect for him. He's going to come in and immediately, I think, fit what they need with just the backup big, obviously, but his his feel for the game as a passer, great screen setter. I'm thinking about lineups with him next to Aaron Gordon, and that's really enticing to me as well. This is good shooter. This is such a good fit.
Yeah, this is a perfect fit for the Nuggets. To recap, Shams came in with the rest of the trade. The Suns get the 28th pick, so they're swapping first-round picks this year, the number 56 pick in this draft, and 2 future second-round picks. So this is Phoenix saying, we got to rebuild some of our draft pick depth, and we've got to rebuild a little bit of our depth behind our frontline guys. So good work for the Suns to come away. Probably, honestly, whoever they're considering at 22, they probably feel pretty good about it getting.
Kolek will be at 29.
I think so.
Or 28.
Yep. We'll see. With this, where was I at here with these? And now we're catching up with the rest of the newsbreakers are jumping in. Do y'all think LeBron won't leave though? Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. I've said this over and over again. Everybody focused on the Bronny stuff and what if Bronny goes somewhere? What if Bronny goes somewhere? LeBron has been very open over the last few years of his entire family's life is in LA now. All of his other kids are there and established. I don't think he wants to uproot his family. I could see a world where LeBron says in his final year, I'm going to go close it out back in Cleveland, come full circle, play it out like that, maybe. I could also see a situation where LeBron says, if we get into a spot where it is there's a team going to Las Vegas and he's going to play his final year with the Las Vegas team, but he's not going in this offseason. That's not going to be a thing.
Hey, guys. I'm back. Did it take out the screen share when I left?
It did. It took out the screen share and we could not update the ticker.
Oh.
Because you created it. You created the ticker.
You created it. We can't.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fill me in then. All right. I've been editing and posting. Who went 20?
All right. 20 was Jalen Tyson to the Cavs.
Okay.
Then Yves Missy went off the board to the Pelicans at 21. And then Denver traded up to 22 and got Deron Holmes. Yeah.
And we're on pick 23 right now?
We're technically pick 22 is just coming in officially, but we're on to pick 23 in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay. Got it.
All right, we'll keep knocking out some of these super chats so we get all caught up fully on these. Gabriel says Lakers didn't need another guard or undersized small forward. I think we've been through our thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka put out a statement on this. He says JJ Redick immediately started drawing pinups and ATO sets for Connect.
Let's go, dude.
There it is. Yeah.
He's a 3. They view him as a 3-and-D wing who will be able to defend 2s and 3s.
Sure. There's some stuff you have to work with, but sure.
Yeah, you can't leave him on an island in isolation against the best wings. They'll struggle, but in general, I think it'll be fine. If LA not trading 17th, what kind of impact trades they can make? They're not going to trade 17. We can, I think, now say that's probably off the board. Impact trades, it's all the same stuff we've talked about, right? It's Rui Hachimura is probably the number 1 trade chip. I wonder if this makes him maybe a little more tradable. with Connect in the fold. But it would really depend, and a lot of it depends on what if D'Angelo Russell opts in. He's a major trade chip too.
Yeah, I think we'll see what happens there with them. With Rui, maybe it makes him a little bit more available. Same thing at D'Lo opts in, obviously, as you were saying. We've got the trade here with Denver picking up DaRon Holmes. I know they were hoping that he was going to fall, but they move up to make sure they get him. The Suns get some extra second round capital. I mean, that's pretty important for Phoenix to be able to get that extra second round capital, given where they're at currently with their war chest pretty depleted. What do you think about the trade here?
Yeah,
what's
we
the
both
exact
love
deal
it.
again? Do you mind going down?
Yeah, so it's Denver gets 22 and picks Holmes. Phoenix gets 28, 56, and 2 future seconds.
That's pretty good. The 2 future seconds matters for Phoenix. So DaRon Holmes ends up going to Denver.
Yeah, great fit. I wonder if if the Nuggets, if they were set to pick him and looked and said, the Knicks now need a big. Like, they may not be able to re-sign Hartenstein. We got to get in front of them. We can't have them with those back-to-back picks. Just sitting there and grabbing DaRon Holmes. So good on Denver for moving up. I think that's a smart move there. Apolinar Estrada says, just watched Connect highlights AR-15 similarities. We talked this a little bit already. I mean, there's a little bit. He's bigger than Austin Reeves. He's not the ball handler or playmaker that Reeves is, but can shoot it similarly, can create his own shot, can finish through contact some. Yeah, there's some similarities there, but not the ball handler and shooter that Reeves is, or ball handler and playmaker that Reeves is, rather.
Yeah.
And I think this catches. Oh man! Every time I think I'm caught, is this what it's like, man? Every time you think you're caught up, it's like, another one comes in there. Connect fit makes even more sense with JJ there. I think you said it. Pelinka's statement about JJ's already drawn up plays, 100%. That fits. All right, now we are caught up. Billy says, are Max and Connect going to compete for minutes? Max might be out of the picture now because you eventually run out of roster spots too. So.
Well, you do run out of roster spots. I know the Lakers are pretty set on keeping him, though.
Yeah, and they should be, because they should. Here's the thing.
We'll see.
Sucks for Max Christie. Restricted free agency means he's not going to get real offers,
right?
Like, because nobody's going to tie any money up or anything like that. So he gets stuck. Trevor, I kind of like being on top now. I am the captain now.
I can fix that.
I'm there. Yeah, I know you can.
That was me. I wanted to be petty.
Oh, all right. Let's see. So where are we at now? So now we're Milwaukee at pick 24.
Milwaukee at 23.
Oh, we're at 23. Okay. I got ahead of myself. Now, this is where normally, like, we would be, okay, we still have a long way to go because we got the second round. The second round is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. We can we get a break and then we kind of reset and everything.
Yep. Yeah. I am very curious to see how that impacts tomorrow. I'm very, very curious to see what things look like, what teams kind of reset and say, all right, this guy's still on the board. We don't have to rush a trade talk. We can have a more measured trade discussion overnight tonight, in the morning tomorrow. Everybody can kind of reset their boards, get it back into a good place, and kind of go from there. So yeah, I think I'm open-minded about enjoying the second round being tomorrow. I also kind of like that to get a chance. I get a chance to reset and do a little bit of work tonight, and then can get back into it tomorrow. And tomorrow, 4:00 Eastern is perfectly fine with me. I have no issue with that. It's a little weird that the league talks so much about wanting to give the second round all this shine and then put it on it in the middle of the workday. But
yeah,
a little odd.
That well, but wasn't there a scheduling issue with something?
Yeah, somebody said there's something going on at night. I don't know what it is.
Either way,
I'm going to answer this one though. Yeah, I have thoughts on Quinton Post. He's a BC guy. So I love Quinton Post. He was one of my guys coming in, kind of because he's a BC guy, but not just. He can play. He's big. He is rugged. He has really nice range. He's a pretty good passer. He can do a lot of different stuff. He's not going to get picked in the first round in the next few picks. He could be picked in the second round. I would not be surprised at all if that goes down. He could also be maybe a later second round pick and gets put on a two-way contract. But he's a pretty solid all-around offensive player. Really nice touch. Can really shoot the ball. Really good passer. Screen setter. Moves his feet pretty good. And then he can defensively he's rugged. He'll bang bodies, block some shots. He's got really good timing. So I think I like him. I think he will be be an NBA big at some point.
Oh, here's a super chat. So can Lakers get Hartenstein? I think he's going to cost way too much.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Milwaukee is taking AJ Johnson out of NBL. So that's an interesting pick. Maybe a little higher than most had him going there. Sean, what do you think?
That's definitely an upside pick with AJ Johnson. I'm not quite sure how ready he is to come in and contribute year one. I did have a first round grade on AJ Johnson, but I feel like with the Bucks, the Bucks needed a win now piece here at 23. And this doesn't really do that for me. Now, there's legitimate defensive flashes. There's legitimate self-creation flashes. I think he showed that really off at the combine, especially like how fun he could be as a self-creator and with the jumper. There's just a lack of consistency and efficiency right now. And I think like he lacks like the core strength and the play strength to be able to play right now. Like this honestly feels like a G League stash. Like, okay, go stay in the G League for a year, bulk up, get like actually develop. Like I would have loved this for Utah at 29. I would have loved this for Boston. Go to the G League for a year. We'll use you later in your career, right? Like I don't like this for Milwaukee. Good player. I like him personally, but I don't like it for Milwaukee.
I'm with you on you're trying to win a championship. You don't have a ton of depth. I would have liked to have seen a player that you feel like can step in and play right away for you. That's why, some of the names we had rattled off a few minutes ago, I would have rather seen some of those because, we're still kind of waiting on Marjon Beauchamp 2 years into his career to is he going to be a rotation guy? Is he not? What's that going to look like? Andre Jackson, I thought he played well, just didn't get a lot of minutes last year. I know they're still pretty high on Chris Livingston. They like AJ Green as well as a shooter, but yeah, this does feel a little bit like, all right, AJ Johnson's going to spend a lot of time playing with the Wisconsin Herd of the G League, and I don't know, not the direction I think I would have gone.
The Knicks are trading 24 to the Wizards.
Kind of thought the Knicks were going to be doing some trade moves here, but with stuff going on. So that's interesting. Let's see what that looks like.
AJ Johnson, really, really quick, is 32nd on my board. So yeah, this does not match up. But yeah, this Wizards trade is interesting.
Yeah, let's see what they got. Knicks, maybe if they're not taking back a pick right now, clearing a little bit more room under that apron. I tweeted about it earlier today. They don't have a lot of room under the apron with the Bridges trade and then Anunoby re-signing. Wow says Sean's going to be very well rested since the second round is tomorrow.
There you go.
True. It's almost bedtime. We're getting close.
Oh, I have like at least 3-4 more hours. I'm going to be up tonight.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is that allowed? We'll talk to the parents and we'll let you know.
That's right. I have school tomorrow.
I'll write them a note.
Even though it's June 27th or 26th.
Michael C. said Reeves needs to build muscle and strength this offseason, work with a specialist on having explosiveness and quickness that'll help him on both ends. Well, if you watched our video with our interview with him, Austin Reeves, yesterday, he did indeed say that's what he's working on. He's working on getting stronger this summer, upper body strength. He told him that Rob Pelinka told him specifically that he wants him to put on muscle this summer. And so that's what he's working on doing.
Woj coming in and saying Keyshawn George to the Wizards with the pick that they just acquired from the Knicks. So that's I like that one. Washington's doing work here, man. They Alex Sarr, Carlton Carrington, Bub Carrington, and Keyshawn George. Nice night for them. You got Brogdon. Let's see if he sticks. I don't even know that he'll stay in Washington. Maybe they'll flip him in another trade. But Wizards doing work, getting some interesting players. I like George for them. He's a guy who I think has some scoring potential on the wing, which is little overlappy right now with a couple other guys in Washington. But we'll see if Kuzma's on the move or if Corey Kispert gets traded or something like that. But for right now, not a bad pick.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all. Obviously, if I know a lot of people are looking for trades to get done tonight. Those can still happen. Kyle Kuzma could still get traded. A lot of these guys could still get traded over the next few weeks here. So,
yep. Still nothing's come back yet on what the rest of that trade is. We'll fill y'all in when we get the
detail. I'm lower on Keyshawn George personally, but if there was a team. That's interesting.
Oh, here it is. So Knicks only moved back a pick, or jumped kind of back a pick. Knicks traded 24 to the Wizards for number 26 and number 51.
So they basically got, I mean, as long as they weren't taking George, if the Knicks weren't, they got 51 for free is the way to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yep. Yeah. That's spot on. Yep. And they save a little bit of money because that pick is
that's true.
A little cheaper than it would have been otherwise. Not by much. I mean, we're only talking a couple $100,000, but when you're dealing with the apron, that could be a thing for sure. And they got, what was it? 51 was the other one. So that would put, as of now, that's Washington done. We'll see. 51 was their only remaining pick that they had, but we'll see where this goes. So the Knicks, who did have back-to-back, still have back-to-back. Now 25 and 26.
There you go. So now the Knicks can make their next two picks. Can they turn them in simultaneously, or do they actually have to wait? I think they should just turn them in simultaneously.
Yeah. I've always wondered too, is like one guy, did they come in like, what the hell, man? This dude now makes more money than me. Why didn't you draft me in the pick higher?
Right. Couldn't you have picked me first instead? Right. Yeah. It's like twins. Well, I'm 30 seconds older or whatever,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. This one, with us getting DK and having AR-15 and Vincent, does that mean we re-sign Spencer and D'Angelo gets traded?
I mean, D'Lo could be a free agent. We don't know.
Yeah, he's got all control here. So there's no, there's a lot still going on with whether he gets traded, not traded, what that looks like with him. Yeah, I could see Spencer Dinwiddie coming back for the minimum. Sure,
he wants to.
Yeah.
Sean, did the Lakers go for a center for pick 55?
If Bronny's there, the answer is no.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
They would take Bronny at 55 if he's there.
And then they'll get whoever that center that they could pick in as an undrafted player anyway. Most likely.
Yeah.
Guys, really quickly, this goes for the chat, especially the Laker Nation viewers. I'm going to try my best to get a film breakdown done on Dawn Connect for you guys, hopefully throughout the day tomorrow, so that we can try to get that up by Friday. Because there's obviously a lot of excitement, I feel, within the fan base about Dawn Connect, and rightfully so. He's a super, super fun player.
Yeah,
let's do it. Said, give me Ryan Dunn and move off of guys like Vando, Rui, Gabe, and D'Lo. Specialists should be relegated to young guys with upside, cheap deals, more athleticism in the backcourt on the wing in free agency. So saying target two-way type players, and then those are the guys to package in a trade. I think the two-way players are becoming more and more of a requirement in today's NBA. That doesn't mean that the one-way guys, the guys that are more defense than offense or vice versa, are completely unacceptable. You just have to be a little bit more careful in areas in which you deploy them. And so I would be surprised in terms of those four players. I would be surprised if all four of those guys are with the Lakers starting next season.
Well, Ryan Dunn is not a two-way. He's a defense guy. He's not. Yeah. He has a long way to go, and there's no real way to get him. Like, he's not going to be available at 55. So unless you're talking about trading back into the end of the first round or very high in the second round, you're not going to get him. He's not still going to be sitting there at that. I'll say this with specialists. Boston just won the title with Sam Hauser playing a major rotation role. He's a shooting specialist. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Pritchard is more of a offense shooting point guard than he is anything else. Pretty much a specialist. Specialists still have a big role to play. You can't. Not every player in your rotation is going to be a really good two-way player. It's just not going to happen.
No. You just can't have too many one-way guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get too many and you're in big trouble for sure. Oh, here we go. Daniel Rodriguez says, real question, will you guys be doing a late night, overnight free agent stream? We will be on Sunday night. Free agency. Yep. What we kind of do is Trevor and I usually kind of wait until things slow down a little bit and maybe we're getting kind of quiet and things have settled for the night, and then we get going there and we break down everything. We'll probably do that. I think the last couple of years we've done at least the first few nights of free agency.
First few nights to break down all the deals and which ones we liked, which ones we didn't, all of that. Ali asked, what time does it start? It kind of depends on when the news starts to die down. There's some nights where it's like, whoa, and things are still going at 11 o'clock or whatever. But the Knicks are in talks on moving 26.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks want 2 rookies. They don't have room for 2 rookies on that roster anyway.
No.
But yeah, to the point Trevor was making, we just kind of got to wait and see. We let the night kind of tell us, because we don't, as much as we love breaking down like live stuff, it's not meant to be a live reaction show like that. We are trying more to, all right, things are quiet, let's get into it, because it's generally there's a lot to cover those nights, so we want to be able to spend a little bit of time. And unlike here, we have a lot of fun doing this, but it's like every minute or two we're on to the next thing. We don't want to do that in free agency night. So we're
right.
We'll see. But yeah, hey, Trevor, what do we got to do? Subscribe and turn on your notifications.
That's right.
You'll know when we go live.
Exactly. Turn on those notifications, and that way, when we go live, you'll get the notification, and you get to jump in and join the show. And that's what we're going to do during free agency. Again, kicks off on the 30th. What day of the week is that?
Sunday.
They're all blurring together, Keith.
Yep. Sunday night. Yep.
Okay.
So Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern is when it all will open up. I know we'll both be glued to our computers and ready to go anyway. But yeah, sometime Sunday night, Monday morning, we'll when I say Monday morning, I mean like 1 a.m. Monday morning kind of time here on the East Coast. But yeah, we'll be breaking it all down.
We will be ignoring our families. That's for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Neglection. Yeah.
All right. Well, while you guys talk through this next one, I just got something sent to me by Ryan. I'm going to get posted on Lakers Nation. I'll be back in just a moment, but I will not leave the stream this time, so we'll ruin everything.
Now Woj says the Knicks are going to pick at 25 and 26. They must have decided they liked 2 guys.
Yeah. Okay. So who are we thinking here? That
definitely
Ryan Dunn feels like a Tibbs pick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they just have a lot of wings now.
Yeah,
that's a lot of forwards. But I mean, what a great group to learn from.
What big do you go with though? Like, unless you're going Filipowski, where I don't like.
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the one I would pick would be Oso Ighodaro, but I'm higher on him than almost anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through because there's not even any real. Maybe Tyler Smith. Maybe
he's more of a Bobby Portis type.
Yeah.
But like, there
really isn't. Yeah, there's not. No. Maybe it will be Filipowski. I mean, maybe, but doesn't necessarily fit what they like to do with their bigs.
Exactly.
He can move his feet a little bit. Ori Shamshi, if you really wanted to go upside.
Yeah. I think the Knicks are allowed to do that. They're kind of making luxury picks here.
Mm-hmm. No, what's interesting? Isaiah Collier's still on the board.
Yeah.
we're getting really that's a slide.
I don't know who takes Isaiah Collier right now.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to keep up. So Washington, so it's now New York and then Washington. Minnesota already took a
New York and New York.
I mean, New York. My bad.
Yeah.
New York and New York, Minnesota. Yep. I think at that point, Phoenix just take Collier at 28. I think you have to, right?
Yeah. He's probably Kolek would be the better plug him in right now guy, but upside, yeah. Utah
maybe.
Celtics maybe. If Boston did, that's just full upside play.
Yeah. There's actually a possibility Collier falls to the second round. That's easy.
That'd be tough. Here we go. Pacom Dadier. So that could be a stash. I know he says he wants to come over, but that could be a stash pick. Now tell us 26. We don't need to wait.
Right?
That's interesting. I wonder if he doesn't come over. I know he said he wants to, but the Knicks.
I wonder if the Knicks have talked to him and said, "Hey, you're not getting drafted in the first round otherwise."
Yeah, we'll draft you if you'll stay over.
Right.
Seas for a year, and then so let's do a quick education moment. Why that would matter for the Knicks? They're trying to create room under the apron. What you can do is you can agree with a player to not sign them for a year as long as you put it into writing and agree. You then wipe their cap hold off your books there, and you still keep their draft rights and everything. That just means you go into you sign them a year later. That's Ricky Rubio did that back in the day. Handful of guys do this every once in a while. So, but Dadier did say he wanted to come over, so we'll see. But that could be in play.
Well, Woj stop with the targeting nonsense.
It's targeting focused. He has to. He can't just say they're picking this guy, which is like why do we play this game again? I don't even remember at this point.
Because the NBA didn't want them saying who it was. Remember, it was they put out a thing that they wanted the broadcast to put it out. They didn't want these guys tweeting all the. There was that one. It came after that 1 year where Woj was legit like 3 picks ahead.
Yeah,
he was like way ahead of everybody, and it was like, man, this could have been an email, and we could have been done in 20 minutes here, and then they came out and said no more of this. This is too much, and then that's when was doing the lasered in on and have their eyes on and all the thesaurus terms that he was using.
Yeah, it's so funny because we all know. I mean, it's just like the wrong hat thing. We all know what he's really saying and all that. Like, just if you're going to let him do this, just let him say who they're picking. Like, it's no different.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's see what else we've got here.
Oh, wait, I just did that wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so the Knicks have their pick at 26 now coming in.
Yeah.
And we'll see who they go with. We'll see if the Collier slide continues.
They could be a Collier spot. I don't have a ton at point guard. Brunson and McBride are really good, but you could always use one more guy. Wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
What we were doing, Trevor, when you were gone, we were trying to find a big because if they lose Hartenstein, but there's just not really a big in that range. A Dembana, maybe
that could be interesting.
Climbing up a little bit, the UCLA kid. Filipowski just doesn't feel like a great fit. We said maybe Ulrich Shamshi or Shamshi, I guess is how you actually pronounce it, or Tyler Smith, another G League kid, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
a little surprised that Filipowski is still sitting there.
Yeah, I am too. Him and Collier, those are the two guys that have slipped now off my personal board.
Yeah. Sean, where did you have Filipowski?
I had Filipowski 30 on my board.
Okay.
Baylor
so
Shireman,
you had him
maybe here. Could be an interesting pick.
It could be.
Baylor Shireman, yeah, like he could probably. I mean, not probably. He would be able to contribute right away. Man, like there's still some really intriguing guys here.
Just for the laughs, I want Baylor Shireman to go to Boston because then everybody will, latch on to the Celtics pick the white shooter. Okay, sure.
Oh man. Okay, so Knicks, come on. You had a package deal. Let's go ahead and make this selection.
What are we waiting on?
Yeah.
You knew who it was.
Right.
Now, these deals, for anybody wondering, these deals that are just draft pick deals, these will probably get finalized later tonight. And I don't even, maybe a couple of these might have even, like the Minnesota trading up for Rob Dillingham, that could have already been finalized. I just haven't seen it come through.
Right.
If the team, again, what do we always say? A trade is official when the team tweets about it.
Right. Exactly. A trade's done, free agency signing, whatever is done. That's when when the team actually puts it out there. Otherwise, it just hasn't been put through yet, which this time of year is pretty common. I mean, especially when we talk about free agency signings and all that. None of that stuff's actually going to get done until July 6th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
What is New York doing?
Yeah, this seems to be taking a very long time. I wonder if they're listening to trade offers. It's probably.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, so the Wizards announced have agreed in principle to acquire the draft rights to Bob Carrington. Remember, they can now do that. And
the Knicks are trading the pick.
To the Thunder.
That's what's taking so long.
Here it is. All right, so the
man,
jumping in at 26.
I'm not going to hit the drop for the 26 pick.
No, we're good.
Dylan Jones. Okay.
Oh, I like Dylan Jones, man. He was another guy on my guys list. He's a kid out of Weber State. This is a Sam Presti-ish pick right here, where it is. Let's go get the kid who kind of probably not on everybody's radar, but good size for a wing, pretty good ball handler. I really like the way he scores. I like this pick a lot, and it's Dylan Dillon, not however we'll spell it.
I like Dylan Jones. I did have more of a second round grade on him, but like you said, like this makes a ton of sense for OKC. I think This is definitely a Sam Presti pick. And again, for OKC, they have the ability to make this pick because they're a luxury pick team right now in terms of, all right, like what do we can just take our guy. We don't have a ton of needs that can be filled at this spot in particular. And we're just gonna go get our guy. So yeah, I like the pick a ton for OKC.
Yeah, this is, like I said, he was one of my guys coming in. I really like Dylan Jones a lot. I think when people see this kid play, they're going to be like, oh, this guy is actually pretty good here. And they've done well with picking kids that are a little bit off the radar from some smaller schools at times. Jalen Williams, Santa Clara. This is going back to that. Well, I like this pick a lot. All right, Minnesota up at 27.
What does Minnesota do here then?
Trade, I would think maybe. If I was a team trying to get into the first round, I'd be.
You'd be calling Minnesota right now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still some players out there to grab too.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. Just for the Wolves, they just don't need somebody else, right? So why not? Why not try to move out a little bit?
Jake Fisher just tweeted out the eyeball emojis.
Uh-oh. What do we got happen now?
What's happening?
Or Jake's just having fun. It's getting late.
Probably, yeah. He's probably just messing around at this point. Keith, do you think
it's interesting? Like this flew by? Sorry.
No, I mean, yes and no. Like, I definitely know if it definitely feels faster than years before, but this feels kind of right that we're getting ready to wrap this up here. You know what I mean? Like, this feels about right. Like, let's look at the clock. We're sitting at the 3-hour mark for the show.
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense. Yep, that's right. Anybody who's been here from minute one.
Yeah. If you've been here all night with us, thanks for hanging out. We're closing in on 40,000 people. Holy crap!
What?
OKC is sending 5 second-round picks to the Knicks for Dylan Jones.
Holy moly!
That's what we've been waiting for, right? That's
5?
what we've been waiting. Yeah, 5 second.
But they like him that much. Like, we know the Thunder have all the picks, but to use them all on Dylan Jones? Wow. Wasn't it? I mean, who was the last guy that got 5 seconds? Wasn't Jay Crowder or something crazy like that?
That I think ended up being 4. Yeah, 5. Oof. Holy cow. That is
a lot of picks.
Man. Yeah. I wish it was 9, and then we could do the 9 times. Rich Bueller.
That's right.
Whew. I can't wait to see which 9 picks those are. And talk about the Knicks, man. Knicks unloaded a bunch of firsts off to from Mikal Bridges. Now they're picking up a whole bunch of second rounders. So
yep.
At least you're reloading your draft capital one way or another.
Keith, Rob Pelinka apparently made some comments in his presser. I mean, referencing again how difficult trades are to make due to the new CBA. He talked about that at JJ Redick's presser as well. So he did this at the post-draft presser the Lakers just held a few moments ago, and he mentioned it again earlier at the JJ Redick presser. What do you think about that in general? I not necessarily strategically, like why is Rob Pelinka saying that, but his assertion that now trades are more difficult to get done.
Yeah, he's definitely right with that. We've talked about it a little bit where the teams are in a spot where it's if you're 2 apron teams or even close to dealing with the apron, it's very hard to trade with each other because you're very rarely going to find a trade where the money is equal. Yeah. And if that happens, you're either going to trigger the hard cap, or if you're over the apron, it's just simply not allowed. So that becomes a very difficult position to be in to make trades. So that's tough. Yeah, there it is. All right, here are the 5 seconds. 2025 most favorable Celtics, Grizzlies. 2026 Warriors. 2027 Wolves. 2027 most favorable of Thunder, Rockets, Heat, Pacers, and a 2027 most favorable of all the same teams. So, okay. I guess I don't know. We'll figure all that stuff out when it's done. We'll sort through all those 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the trades are tough, man. Now a lot harder than they have been. So, but it is tough. I do worry anytime I hear a GM start to emphasize those things a lot like that. Minnesota's taking Terrence Shannon.
There it is.
27. All right. So Minnesota maybe keeping that pick and not moving. Shannon, once they get past the court trial there, which he was I don't know if he was necessarily found not guilty, but he was at least acquitted of the charges. He's a good player. So, very good player. So as long as that stuff is done, but yeah. But my point, what I was going to say with that is, you can't say it too often that trades are too hard, because then it just sounds like you're making a pre-excuse for not making a trade. So you just got to be careful with that. But I mean, he's not wrong by any means.
Yeah, exactly. That's where people got upset. It was funny as I had people say like, what does he talk about? The Knicks just made a trade. The Knicks gave up 1 million picks to get a trade done. That's what it took to get something done. So, but it's interesting that he's noted that a few times, that the new CBA specifically has made it more difficult. You're right. The apron thing is an issue. Essentially, all teams that are above the first apron, they can't trade with each other unless it's like a 3-team trade where they have another team to dump salary on. And I was curious to see what kind of an impact that would have. So interesting to hear a GM talking like that. obviously some fans are not thrilled to hear that kind of stuff coming from a GM, but I'm curious to see how the market all plays out over the next few weeks, and if that opinion is not just Pelinka, but if that is kind of an opinion that we see spread across the NBA.
What?
Ryan Dunn at 28.
All right, a defender. Ryan Dunn might be the best defensive player in the class.
I mean, I'm sure Frank Vogel would have loved that they had actually given him any defensive players last year.
It's a Frank Vogel pick.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, that's and again, this is Denver's going to make this pick, but it's going to Phoenix as part of that trade up that Denver did to get to Duran Holmes. So, yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
yeah,
he can't really shoot, so that's probably good because he's not going to get shots anyway in that team. So, come in, play defense, run the floor, play hard. That'll probably be fine. Like you're probably good.
Yeah.
Is Collier really dropping to the second round here?
I don't get
Might
it.
be.
Somebody trade up and just take him. This is getting insane, I think.
So we have the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics. Those are the last two teams left on the board, just in case you've been asleep and haven't realized it. This is it for tonight. The draft is over for the night after the first round. Second round will pick up tomorrow. Second round, too, I keep seeing people saying, 30 more picks tomorrow and all that. They're not. They're only 28. Philadelphia and Phoenix both had to forfeit picks due to tampering.
What did the clock get reset to for second round picks now? It's 5 minutes now?
Same as the first round. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Which is good because 2 minutes was too.
That's where you're getting Taco Bell commercials and stuff being played during the while picks are coming in.
Yeah, and you can't. It's just the teams hated it too because it's like you call somebody and they would be like, "We actually don't even have that pick anymore," and you'd be like, "Oh,
right."
Okay. So let's get into with 2 picks left here if we can. Some guys who have fallen: Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Johnny Furphy, Baylor Shireman. Only 2 of those guys are going to go here. I think those are probably the 4 biggest guys that have slipped. Do you got anybody else, Sean?
You have Tyler Smith, although I think his range is a little bit wider.
Sure.
You already said Collier.
Yep, Collier. But the 4 guys I listed up were Collier, Filipowski, Furphy, and Shireman.
Yeah. I'm trying to see the Tyler Smith. Yeah, Tyler Kolek. But I feel like if Tyler Kolek wasn't getting picked by Phoenix, then he was probably gonna be a day 2 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my list, honestly.
There's a couple guys in there that are interesting trade up guys to get. At the top of the second round. If like Filipowski's there, like Toronto is sitting there at 31, Utah at 32, Milwaukee has 33. Like Milwaukee, maybe Milwaukee comes away with their big in Filipowski. Hey, it's funny. I there's a world where I think I'm gonna like Milwaukee's second round pick more than I like their first round pick.
I think that's a fairly probable world. Because AJ's fine. But I just
Bronny and Trevor Lane have beef. Well, what's your problem with
we
Bronny?
do?
Trevor? Did he beat you?
I don't know.
Did he take your lunch money?
Did he take your lunch money?
I don't know what happened.
One of your students, was that the problem?
That must be it. I gave him a bad grade, and
there it is. Isaiah Collier. You know what? This is an extremely Danny Ainge pick. Danny Ainge has always been very big on guys who have a super high profile coming in, don't perform necessarily at a high level in college, and then are still available later. So this is a big time Danny Ainge pick.
All right, I got to give it like the highest grade on my scale, which like just because of the value, it's a top 10 player in my eyes.
Potentially,
just in terms of where he is on my board. So. Ending up with Collier and Cody Williams, who on my board are 2 top 12 players, like that's a good job by Danny Ainge.
Yeah, he does well with this stuff, man. Might not always be willing to make the big trade, which I think also got overstated too. But we'll see.
Part of that was just having fun with that whole narrative.
Sure.
I mean, that's
and
then it gets repeated enough to where people take it as fact, and and all that.
Yep, without a doubt. I mean, it also doesn't help that he loves to talk, so he loves to come out there and say like, "Oh, we were close
super
on
close.
this guy.
Yeah,
really close on this guy too." So,
right.
Shams is pick 29, pal.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait a second. It's been a long night for Shams too. There it is. He fixed it.
Boston could trade the pick to the Lakers.
Oh man. Everybody, thank you for being with us tonight.
Oh my god, so much fun.
Yeah. It's been a blast. Hey Trev, Sean Key, sorry for being late. How is Connect defensively? Thank you for everything you guys do. Thoughts on Connect's defense, guys?
Meh.
Fine.
Like,
yeah.
I don't agree with the notion that he's just gonna get targeted to death and like he's a turnstile defensively. I disagree with that narrative, right? But he's not ever going to be this great defender, I think you're drafting him because he's BPA. He's BPA, great shooter, smart defender. And like I said, like maybe develops a little bit more on that end, considering you're gonna have a downscale in offensive role.
So Bryce in his write-up on Connect said defensively he's a little bit, he didn't use the word optimistic, but he says he gives him some slack on defense. He says because he played zone exclusively in high school and he didn't have a full calendar year of high-level D1 basketball experience because he was at JUCO for a couple of years and in the Big Sky Conference. He says, so a team's hope in drafting him is that he turns into a 15 to 20 point per night scorer that is at least a neutral defensively. So that was his assessment of the defense, was that some of the concerns he puts on the defensive schemes that he was playing in his formative years, and that he didn't have a lot of experience defending at a high level.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that take. Shout out Bryce once again.
He does a really good job. All right. Let's see what happens here.
Would not be surprised if this is a trade back.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably trade back.
Yeah, I think Boston is. I mean, Brad Stevens took the Belichick playbook last year and traded back a couple times to pick up a bunch of seconds, and I don't even remember what happened with all of them. But wouldn't be surprised. We'll see.
We are going to go live for Lakers Nation and specifically take a look at what are the Lakers getting in Connect? What does tomorrow bring with the second round? What does this mean for the roster build? All the stuff from here. What do the Lakers need to do on the trade market? All those questions and stuff that are very Lakers specific and still out there. We're going to go live on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. We're going to probably take like a 15-minute break or so, and then we're going to get into that. So just be ready for that. Tomorrow, what are we thinking, guys, for the second round?
I'm thinking we just watch the second round, and if something wild happens, maybe we jump on live then. But just kind of go there. Right?
Yeah, cool. That sounds good to me. We'll be on standby in case there's some kind of big trade or something like that, and we can jump on at that moment.
Yep, and then we'll do for the folks who are from the front office side here, which it should be everybody. You should all be subscribing to the front office show. Honestly,
that's right.
But Trevor and I we'll figure out something tomorrow. Probably depend on what's going on tomorrow. But Friday plan is definitely front office Friday because we're not.
Let's go.
Unlike prior years after the draft, we were still up at 3:00 in the morning and finishing a 5-hour live stream. We won't have that going on. So we'll definitely have our Front Office Friday show. If you're new and you haven't joined Front Office Fridays, it's the best thing that you can do on a Friday.
It's fun.
So,
it's a good way, especially if you're ready for the weekend and you're stuck at work and you don't want to be paying attention to work. It's a good distraction from all of that. And I have a feeling, Keith, we're going to have to do something on Saturday. The day before free agency, I bet there's going to be some stuff.
Yeah. They're all work days from here on out.
Yep. All right. So Collier goes 29. Oh, I'm just seeing the Collier pick here on
Baylor
TV
Shireman.
too. So
there it is, Baylor Shireman. Oh. Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
All right. Well, I made the joke, and
you made the joke, and you spoke it into existence.
That's a good pick for the Celtics, honestly. That gives them some cover now. If Sam Hauser, free agency extension talks get a little wonky, they have their next designated shooter type, and he can do more. He's a pretty good ball handler and passer as well. So I like this pick for Boston quite a bit.
I like it too. Good value. I think it's well. Had a first round grade on him.
Yeah,
there is some I think I might have just used the upside play here and go grab a Johnny Furphy or go grab a Tyler Smith. But yeah, I do understand the pick for Boston. I mean, day 2 is going to be fun, especially at the top. Johnny Furphy, Tyler Smith, Kyle Filipowski, Colette.
And now teams have overnight to figure out if they want to trade up, what they can to negotiate, what that might look like, all of that. So this is new. We haven't done this before. Usually the draft continues, we get through the second round, and then that's it. Now teams have a moment to catch their breath, reset, look at the second round, figure out what they want to do there, have these conversations. I'm really curious to see if we get some action that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise because of this break now between the first and second round.
Yeah,
absolutely. Keep an eye on the Brooklyn Nets. They don't have a pick. I would not be surprised if they trade in to the second round at some point. They've got some draft capital now. They could move. I think they're going to come away with a pick here in the second round.
I like it. I think they would not surprise me, especially given their new direction, which is trying to build for the future. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it an evening there.
Yeah.
Guys, this was a lot of fun.
Shout out, man. We are going to crack 40,000 total people hopped in here at some point.
Yep.
Unbelievable. The support y'all show us. We can't thank y'all enough. Front Office Show, Lakers Nation, whatever combination is, even if you guys jumped in from Twitter. We had a blast. We had a fun night doing this. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Second round. If there's madness and craziness, we'll jump on here again and get into all of it. And other than that, we'll definitely see you guys moving down the line here for sure.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Again, guys, this was a lot of fun. And again, we're going to go live for Lakers Nation in give us 15, 20 minutes or so. We'll catch our breath. And I'm going to process some thoughts, and then we're going to come at you with some ideas for what the Lakers are going to do moving forward here. But Sean, Keith, this was a blast, guys. Another year in the books. We still have the second round coming up, but for our live show, always want to look forward to. And here we are coming in at 3 hours and 15 minutes live here, breaking down the draft. And this is great, guys. Appreciate it.
You did it. Really fun. Thanks. Shout out to anybody who was here for the full run. We love you guys.
Absolutely, guys.
All right, everybody. We will see you all in just a bit over on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. If you want Lakers specific stuff, we're going to get there in just a few moments. But thank you, everybody. Till then, see ya and stay safe.